First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and tell me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's off to a great weekend so far. Hope everybody's staying safe. Before we get into the video, this is episode 11, season 4 of the podcast. Episode 10, season 4 of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest. He is back once more. Last time you saw him was last season. Rashad Milligan. Welcome back, Rashad. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for taking the opportunity. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me on this podcast, sir. Much appreciated.
Oh, no problem. Hopefully, I'm not on for 3 hours this time.
No. I hope we should be on that long. Before we get into the video itself, there's a few things I want to say up front. Yesterday, we were supposed to have the episode, but due to outside of YouTube, we rescheduled for today. Episode 11 will be with comedian El Hendricks tomorrow evening, same time, 10 o'clock. Please forgive me if I'm not download the last few episodes on Anchor and Spotify. Please be patient with me. I will work on those tomorrow. That is the goal. This video, we do the NFL Week 9 preview, Bears versus the Steelers, Titans versus the Rams, and also, too, we're going to talk about Henry Ruggs the third. We're going to have some closing statements with that, and Rashad wants to get his opinion on it. Aaron Rodgers. We're also going to talk about the WNBA season, debrief, pros and cons, what we liked, we didn't like, women's basketball expectations for this season, and I will give a preview for episode 11, which I've already stated. So, as I said, welcome back, Rashad. Thank you for joining me. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I want to take this opportunity to send my thoughts and prayers to those that lost their lives, the families of those that lost their lives at the concert. Hold that band. 8 people sadly lost their lives. I have so many questions. For one, when I saw the first video where they broke down the gate to get inside the concert, where was security at? Number 2, Travis Scott. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome, comedian El Hendricks. Thank you. Travis Scott, why did he not stop the show? Why did he continue when people were pleading for help? There was a clip with a young woman, I guess it was the cameraman. You know, they have communication with the lighting director of the show, and say, hey, we have a problem down here. And then also, too, I found, I guess he was the police chief or officer. He stated that somebody had been injecting Narcosin. What is wrong with us why? It makes absolutely no sense. Rashard, you because I'm gonna say something I think I'm gonna regret. You can please.
Man, I definitely understand where you're coming from. It's obviously a tragedy. It's really just a tricky situation if you are Travis Scott, because it's like, I don't think obviously it wasn't handled the correct way in the time that they did it. But now, Travis, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it, because a lot of kind of you're doing too. He
Yeah.
holds some type of accountability for it as well. Does he deserve all of the blame? Of course not, but he definitely deserves some to be held accountable for it, because it's his show, it's his festival.
Yeah.
Above all, this isn't just the Astro World Tour. The Astro World Tour was 3 years ago when Mo Bamba was like the most popular song in the world. So
Yeah.
this is his festival that he has every year in Houston, and did the thing where this weekend should have gone just kind of fine. The biggest thing that should have came out this weekend was the meme of him running at the little charity event, softball or baseball game. You saw that meme the other day.
That's
That
all.
should have been the biggest news and the biggest meme from this event. Unfortunately, it's not, because we're talking about this tragedy, which we're going to be talking about for the next couple of months. It's kind of like with the Ariana Grande situation a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
overseas and stuff.
with the bomb threat. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's just a sad thing, man. And but I mean, I did see a video of Travis where he like kind of realized up there on stage, yo, wait, what's going on? Hold on. Everybody just step to the side. Security, please get to them. Security, please get to them.
Yeah.
Let's, so I did see that video, because there's another video that's going viral where he's just staring at them and he's like singing while like people are like obviously passed out and they're trying to get out the pit. So, but I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, you have to hold yourself accountable when your entire brand of your live shows are, it's psych out, go crazy, like Travis Scott goes, it's a crazy thing. Like he had the mosh pit thing, like at his arena tour and stuff. Like that's his brand for live shows. So it's like at that point you have to be like, yo, like I still want to be safe. I still want everybody to be good. And there's clips of him saying that at other shows, but
right.
I mean, Travis Scott fans are gonna protect and defend him no matter what.
Right.
At the end of the day, we have to, there is something that he needs to be done by Travis as well. He needs to pay for all the funerals. I saw Aiden Ross, who's a part of. Aiden Ross is a part of Cactus Jack. That's a Travis Scott thing. And Aiden Ross is like, yo, I'm trying to help the families or pray for someone's funeral or something of one of the 8. And that's great and dandy by Aiden and stuff. Salute to him. But that Travis Scott needs to be paying that,
I agree.
Hey, T and Michelle.
What's going on? Good to see you.
Is it T and Michelle? Is that how you say it? Or is it like tonight Michelle? Or like
she's from Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee Michelle. All right. Shout out to Tennessee. Shout out Michelle. Yep. But yeah, like that's definitely how it should be. And I don't know. I'm talking in circles right now, but
no,
like there's only so much you can say about it. So I'll just leave it at that.
Right, for sure. I really do. But I mean, but besides that, I mean, until those kind of issues are addressed, I will not be attending any music festival like that, because I don't want to go as far. I just think that there's so many questions.
People are so they're anxious to get back outside, and they get back outside and they're just acting ignorant. It's ignorance.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Like the mob mentality, you break into the gates, the security guards are like, stand still, wait, bro. There's people under who fallen and y'all stepping on their rib cages, their hearts, their heads, and you're giving them concussions. You're killing these people right now. Yep. And the only thing that people can think of is, I'll worry about that later. Let me get through so I can get me a good spot.
Watch Travis Scott, exactly. Especially when they broke the fence down. Like there was an older gentleman, had to be in the 60s, maybe early 60s, mid 60s, whatever. And I'm like, what is he going to do?
Right. Like people also have their kind of
Yeah,
hold themselves accountable of the type of security they hire and stuff like that. And
right.
obviously, I think, there's definitely a place you don't want ageism in anywhere. But,
I
if a
agree.
60-year-old wants to help out, put them as like a volunteer with tickets or something like that. Don't put them as security.
Right.
And then with security guards, there was only like 2-3 security. Like regardless if he had the biggest bodybuilding security guard, what is 3 people gonna do versus 200, 500?
Yeah,
That's bum rushing the gates and stuff. The
right,
entire situation just wasn't handled properly, and it's
right.
really sad. It's unfortunate and it's tragic. At least 8 lives lost. At least they're
At
saying the
least I
number
think
keeps
there's
going
more.
up, over 100 injured.
Yeah,
We'll just see. And the kid from the video was like, he saw 10 dead from just where he was. If you
where he
saw that
was,
video,
and it was
so
great. Yeah, I
exactly.
mean,
So I think
this.
it's
I mean, I'm and that just gonna get thoughts and prayers to those that were involved and those that you know tried their best to save those. Just it's crazy,
but
man.
also people like this is on people too. Like, what are we doing here?
Doing
Like,
yeah,
the folks, what's wrong with y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like y'all been in the house for a year and a half,
have
and then y'all say like stuff like, "Oh man, when I get back outside, I'm never taking it for granted." You get back outside and you act a darn fool. Like that's the
yeah,
first thing you do. And
and not just
in
with
the
concerts and sporting events too. Like I feel like
sporting events, yeah,
it
we remember exactly last playoffs. They
mhm.
throwing the popcorn on Kyrie head and
Russell
pouring his,
Westbrook,
Russell Westbrook, and y'all are acting
John
like y'all
Morant's
ain't
family getting
exactly John Morant. Well, that's Utah. That happened before the pandemic. We know that.
right, but still,
That's a whole nother
there
thing.
were people that stepped in and made sure that there was no issue. But
People just, it's like, dog, house training. It goes back to house training, and it's also a thing of like parenting, of going to like, we had this kind of alternate. I felt like this past generation had an alternate view on parenting of, let the kids do what they want and give them the freedom to you know be them, because my parents didn't give me that. And
right,
while on the surface level that's amazing,
I agree.
on the other side you're seeing this where folks act like they ain't got no home training. Like, what I'm saying? You go in someone's house, take off their shoes. Yes, sir. No, sir. You speak to everyone in the house. You don't walk to the refrigerator. Like, I had a kid when I was a kid, he was, in my neighborhood. Like, first thing he did was like walk to my kitchen and like open the refrigerator door and was like, dang, y'all ain't got nothing in here. My mom was like, are you out of your mind? Like, my mom told him off. But it's just like, it's just, that was the generation that we grew in, of just like
Yeah,
that alternate parenting styles and letting the kids curse. And I like, there has to be some structure, and it goes beyond just like not letting them curse or not letting them listen to this rap music and stuff.
there has to be a right and there has to be a wrong.
Exactly. So it goes back to parenting,
Yeah,
and I think it's also up to us as the general public. If we don't have kids, I remember a few years ago, I was, kind of offered to help out a little more with the Big Brother program. And that was something, exactly, Michelle. That was something that I was offered to do. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I might have to move out. And I did end
right.
up moving out of state for 4 years. But, now that I'm back, that's something that I probably want to get into. And it's something I encourage everybody to get into. Get into
Yeah,
some mentoring programs,
yeah.
help out these young kids. Because, obviously, the parents not doing a good enough job.
Well, it's not, and I mean, and there's some that do the best they can, but I think it's also too. I think as you know, it takes a village to raise one, and I think we all got to do our part. I've been having this debate with somebody, and they think I'm crazy where it comes to like parenting and all that doesn't matter. You are your own person when you turn a certain age, like, and then I just and
Like, that doesn't even like logically make sense.
I I tried, but it just I think one their astrology sign and I think their mindset. But you can't change a person. We can all be diverse in thinking. And I just said, look, that's your opinion. I have my opinion, and let's just keep it moving. Um, Hendrix and Michelle. If there are any negative, goofy comments, please ban them. If you guys are still in here, I appreciate that. I already had to ban one.
Yo, shout out to all the negative, goofy commenters, all the trolls. You know what I'm saying? I don't run away from trolls. I like to address trolls because it's like it's a part of the internet. Like I wrote something recently. I don't know if we were going to talk about it, but the Hank Aaron story that I wrote, you know, it got crazy, like crazy, and I didn't delete any of them. I wanted people to see it because it's like this is how people think. You know, you don't want to hide it because I don't know. It's just a part. It's a part of life, and it's a part of the internet. I feel like everybody always sees the positive, and everybody always wants to see the positive, which is great for their mental. But
Right.
I think it's also a part of it. Like if you don't have any trolls, if you don't have any negative comments, I don't know if you popping or reporting enough on the internet. So
Well, I mean,
I appreciate trolls.
though
Go
some of them can be very over the top.
Shout out to all the over the top trolls. Y'all go outside, kiss a girl. What the baby say? If you ain't, nah, I'm just playing. I ain't about to get canceled. I'm joking. I'm joking about the baby situation. Okay, go ahead, Nate.
We're going to transition into week 9 of the NFL season. We're 9 weeks into the football season already, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe that. So the Jets and the Colts started week 9 off. The Indianapolis Colts beat the Jets by 15. We got the Oakland Raiders versus those New York G-men. Well, the Giants lost. The Kansas City, they had that game won, but mistakes and penalties cost them that game. Oakland's coming into this game a little
Vegas.
Thank you. But I say Oakland.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because they're still Oakland, right? They're still Oakland to me. I'm sorry. Vegas, they're coming into this game. I wouldn't say shell shocked. I think more of with now having to deal with the Henry Ruggs situation. I know I talked about in the last video with Derek Carr. He said everyone in that locker room, they're ready to play football. But I think that the Las Vegas Raiders are going to beat the Giants 27-10.
They're gonna do it for Ruggs and Gruden and the other guy who was on Instagram Live or whatever pointing his guns and was like, yeah, I'm like that.
Yeah.
That team is you talk about a mess. Like
It's a mess.
and it's crazy that all of this happens like right now. Like because you understand on the other side of things, this is the most tight-lipped and like kind of protective that PR, public relations people and publicists have been with the media like ever. And it's the funniest thing because like kids just go out on social media and just ruin it for themselves. And it's like like they do so much like to like, oh, you can't hear, no, you can't ask that, you can't get that, oh, you can't write about that, they do, and then they just go out and just do stupid stuff themselves. It's crazy.
I mean, it makes like I feel like with Henry, that was something Oakland didn't need. Vegas, I'm sorry, did not need.
I didn't even realize he did it that time because it's so natural.
Because I remember them as Oakland. I remember them as Oakland. But I was like, oh, they're going to move to Vegas. I don't like that move. But they've always wanted a team in Vegas, and now they got their wish.
Relationship with your children.
My God.
Let's see. The Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons, play
Next game.
they play the New Orleans Saints. Now, actually, that last week, ladies and gentlemen, the Falcons, it was actually an interesting game against the Panthers, 19-13, and then they came out and surprised us and beat the Dolphins. Jameis Winston's out. Taysom Hill, I think, is still out. After that, I say big win against the Buccaneers. Everything rides in the Saints' direction. So I'm going to say the New Orleans Saints will win 31-17.
Guaranteed.
This is always an interesting game. I know SB Nation, they describe the rivalry perfectly of like at the roots of its origins. If you guys don't know from outside the South, because I feel like the rest of the country doesn't really understand how big this rival, like this is like huge in the South,
Right.
New Orleans and Atlanta. And, SB Nation described it perfectly. They were like at the beginning of the NFL, they were both in the basement of the NFL, like two of the worst teams. So every year they faced off, it was like watching the two worst teams like have slugfests against each other. It's kind of like the Egg Bowl a couple years ago where
Right.
Mississippi State and Ole Miss were like two of the worst teams in the SEC. But when they got together, man, you're talking about some of the best college football games in that season and stuff like that. So that's what I think this rivalry is. Once again, with the retirement of Drew Brees and everybody else, kind of falling off on the Falcons side of things.
I agree. The rivalry's always been great. Some of those Saint teams, Falcon teams, particularly mid 2000s, were pretty damn good. The Drew Brees era, post era has kind of been often interesting start. Michael Thomas is out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. We were talking about fantasy before we were recording. He was one of my guys on the bench because I was like holding, like he fell late in the draft, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll get Michael Thomas. Had him on the bench. He's out. Maybe I could pop up Michael Thomas middle of the season, and then he makes that announcement. Yeah,
and I know he and Keyshawn Johnson are related some way. Thank you, Keyshawn, for dodging the question, why would he avoid surgery in January?
Bullshit.
I really appreciate that. I'm a fan of Michael Thomas, but that makes no sense. The Buffalo Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Buffalo Bills will embarrass the Jaguars. I'm going like 35-3.
Guaranteed.
No objections on this side.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are a mess. I know they're going to find a way. They're going to fire Urban Meyer after this season. They're most likely going to have the number one overall pick. There's nothing to build off in Jacksonville. It's a complete mess.
They have Trevor Lawrence, who has great hair.
That's about it. The Cleveland Brownies versus the Cincinnati Bengals. So we all know with Odell Beckham Jr., he's now out as a Cleveland Brown. Some people think his dad made that video to get him out of Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns, ladies and gentlemen, are not the team everybody hyped them up to be before the season started. Oh, they got a great defense. I haven't seen that. I know Kareem Hunt still in the IR. Nick Chubb just came back. Jarvis Landry's not really the same receiver coming off injury. Baker Mayfield's also coming off an injury, and Odell Beckham Jr. is coming off an injury. So I mean, there's a complete unbalance there. To throw all the blame on Baker Mayfield, I think, is a bit much, but I understand because he is a number one overall pick. He was the guy. But when you have a wide receiver, Odell, who's missed a lot of games, and also too, to make that video and say put it on Baker, why did you not call up Kevin Stefanski? Why did you not call up the offensive coordinator? Beyond me. But the Cincinnati Bengals too, after beating the Ravens and beating the losing to the Jets, Cincinnati is a team that you really shouldn't sleep on. But I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win this game 28-13.
Guaranteed.
They're kind of like it's the battle of the two unstable Ohio teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'll be very interesting, but I think Cincinnati's the most stable out of the two unstable, especially this week with kind of OBJ, dominating headlines in the sport.
Exactly. The Patriots versus the Panthers. Sam Darnold is questionable to play. McCaffrey's coming off an injury. I'm going to say the New England Patriots 21-14.
Guaranteed.
That's a toss-up for me.
Yeah, because the Patriots, they beat the Chargers last week, so I don't know what to really expect in this game, but I think that's a fair score. The Broncos versus the Dallas Cowboys. Von Miller's no longer a Bronco. He's now on the West Coast with the Rams. The Rams are who we thought. I mean, the Broncos are who we thought they were.
Get down! Get down!
The Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Denver Broncos 31-14.
Guaranteed.
And I think
expected.
I think that's an easy win for the Broncos. I mean, for the Cowboys. If you look at Dallas's schedule, it's just easy, mediocre teams they're facing. We already did the Vikings versus the Ravens. The Battle of the Tank Bowl. We have the Miami Dolphins versus the Houston Texans. Well, Miami didn't get
The Deshaun Watson Bowl.
Yes, there you go. I like it. It was a win-win for Tua because publicly these comments of him getting traded I feel bad for Tua, but he's not that guy. This was a team that I actually had Rashad going to the making the playoffs, and they have been completely disappointed.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
Completely disappointing. They have all the pieces. I think they do, but to be 1-7, I'm gonna say that, and the Houston Texans they're a mess. You know, with the whole Deshaun Watson thing, and I think I've told you this. I just don't. It bothers me that before he requested out, he wanted out of Houston. You didn't hear anything about those allegations, but as soon as he wants out, then you hear all this stuff, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But I think that the Miami Dolphins will upset the Houston Texans 27-21.
Guaranteed.
Loser gets Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, there you go. The Eagles versus the Chargers. The Chargers have been their stock has started to decline a little bit. A little disappointing in the Chargers. Man. The Eagles, they lost. No, they actually demolished, but they played the Lions. So that doesn't, yeah. I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers are going to have a bounce back win against this Eagle team. I'm looking on the lines of 24-21.
Guaranteed.
That's fair. That's fair. Shout out to my guys on Philly, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins.
Yes. Jalen Hurts. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Boston Scott. These guys have stepped up. And that Eagle team is young and they're growing. For sure. But it's that whole division, the NFC East, has been pretty interesting. The Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers go to Arrowhead Stadium and play Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. We all know what the Kansas City Chiefs have been this year.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
Aaron Rodgers testing positive for COVID. First of all, I just want to give my thoughts and prayers. I hope he's all right. But the whole situation has gotten messy. Let's just call it what it is. So
He's okay. He's all right, Nate. He's got immunity.
true, but he should not have spelled that kind of misinformation. He should not have done that. When you present your facts. If you're going to make statements like that, have research, have data, all that. That's just my opinion. But I think Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers are going to surprise the Kansas City Chiefs 34-30.
Guaranteed.
Hot take. So you think it's going to be like I guess the Jets last week with the Jets backup comes in and 400 yards or something like that. Shout out my boy Channing. If my boy Channing on the Packers, Georgia State, great. If he gets a pick against Patty Mahomes, he is officially the greatest player in Georgia State football history.
No, I think it's going to be that kind of game. I'm not sold on Kansas City's defense. They showed up in the clutch when it counted. Their defense has been mediocre. Patrick Mahomes and that offense has not been the same. He didn't even throw Travis Kelce the ball in the last game. I think Kelce only had 2 receptions. But Patrick Mahomes did what he had to do to win that game. So, the Cardinals versus the 49ers.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
AJ Green, if he doesn't drop that, if he turned his head to catch the ball, the Cardinals going to win that game. The Cardinals have one of the worst run defenses. We know that. The San Francisco 49ers are not the team I thought they would have been. I actually had their defense on my fantasy football team and dropped them. They've just been this disgusting. I know George Kittle's coming back off IR. I know D Ford went on IR. I know there's been some disagreement with, I think it was John Lynch and Joe Montana. Montana said he would have drafted Mac Jones over Trey Lance. But, I mean, you could go with either quarterback. But I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals are going to beat the 49ers 28-17.
Guaranteed.
I like that.
And then that brings me into my 2-game previews. We got the Sunday night football game. We got those Bears versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm looking at the standings. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are they're actually third place in the AFC North at 4-3. And the Bears are 3-5. A couple things coming into this game. Khalil Mack's out. Damian Williams is out. J.P. Holtz is out. Nick Foles is out. Alec Ogletree is questionable. Darnell Mooney's questionable. Eddie Jackson is doubtful to play. B.J. Finney is questionable to play. Eric Ebron is out. Also, Big Ben is nursing a pectoral, hip, and right shoulder injury.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
Damn. I mean, how many injuries does a man got to have? Like, God, listen, he's 39. God bless him. This is his last year. Hall of Famer, no doubt. But he should not be playing. I'm sorry. He really shouldn't. We should be resting in this game.
Is that the only place he should be? He should just be resting.
Just this game. I mean, he shouldn't be starting.
Is there no other place that he should be instead of a football field right now?
Good point. Good point.
But But is Juju healthy? Is Juju back? Or is he
No,
still
Juju,
hurt?
he's out for the
I thought he
season.
was out. Yeah, I
He's
thought
done for
so.
the year.
I thought.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear his name in that thing, so I was like, yeah, Juju's right.
Well, no, they had him. They put him on the IR after not this game they played last week, the week before, because he's getting shoulder surgery.
I remember that.
So, hey, Lucinda, good to see you. Good to see you, Lucinda. Look,
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you give. Oh,
sure.
okay. I'll let you go. I'll let you go first.
Sure. So, we both know. I'm looking at both teams defensively. This is their strongest suit. On paper, their defenses are respected. But it's definitely looking kind of interesting to see how both teams have looked. The Bears are one of those teams. And it's actually rare. Well, that's not. Let me take it back. I don't use the word rare. Where they are a better running team than they are passing the ball. Vice versa, Chicago likes to put pressure on the quarterback. I think it's going to come down to who can get the most stops defensively. I think that's the key. Justin Fields has to build on a good game. If he does that, I think they're going to be okay. Pittsburgh has allowed 16 points in the last 3 games. It's not bad. Najee Harris is carrying that team. Lucinda's showing you some love, Rashard.
What's up? What's up, Lucinda?
I think it's gonna come down to battle of the trenches. Who, like I said, I think that's the key. But I'm gonna say the Chicago Bears are gonna beat the Steelers 2017.
Guaranteed.
And you already know where I stand. Justin Fields to the top.
We're gonna move next into the Rams versus those Titans. The Derrick Henry-less Titans.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
Derrick Henry.
Los Angeles. Next question. Hey, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, I get it. I respect the build up. You got to do it, Nate. It's the prime time game of the week. I get it, Nate. We all know. Unless you're gonna throw a curveball, I'll let you go.
No, Derrick Henry's not there. They just signed AP. Derrick Henry was an MVP candidate. This is also next on I think after Derrick Henry is Jerry McNichols. He's a third down running back. And then your second leading rushing scorer, ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, is Ryan Tannehill. I kid you not.
Ryan Vick.
Darrenton Evans, as I say his name, he's on IR. So they signed Dante Freeman and Adrian Peterson.
What is it? 2006.
That's who they signed. That's going to be key. Now the Los Angeles Rams have Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald.
Congratulations. Oh my God.
That defense, I listen, if I was an offensive coordinator, I'm not afraid of them. I'm not. They already lead the league in sacks with 25. Also, 11 interceptions. They've allowed 5 touchdowns, which is the second fewest in the league. Tennessee's offensive line is 20. They have allowed 24 sacks, which makes them 8th in the league. Tannehill was sacked 3 times in an overtime win against Indianapolis. He's also Tannehill's 4th in throwing interceptions. He's thrown 10 touchdowns. 65% of his passes have been completed. So,
I wonder how a game of, it's kind of crazy because we were talking about one. It's crazy because we were talking about at the beginning of the episode, disciplining your children and kind of training a child up. So it's kind of a full circle moment to get back to Adrian Peterson. But I really want to see how 2021 AP and 2021 Devontae Freeman are going to do against a defensive line and defensive front that features Von Miller and Aaron Donald. I think I might watch it just to be like entertained.
This is a different, not Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman plays for the Raiders.
Devontae Freeman, yeah, he's over there.
Devontae Foreman, I'm sorry, his name. Devontae Foreman, I apologize.
Because Freeman's over there in Baltimore, isn't he?
Yes,
exactly.
He's actually not really playing that well.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown like the other week because they run the ball so much, and like he has no business. But I mean, get your money.
Yeah, for sure. Lucinda, Michelle says, "Hey, Lucinda, in the comments, yes, broken foot on Tuesday. They said it was successfully well. Don't know when he'll be back.
Ran that man into the ground.
Yeah, and that's your identity. So, and also too, the Tennessee Titans have the bend but don't break defense. They rank 11th in yards per play. They're 20th in first downs allowed, 24th in passing yards, 22nd in total yards allowed. Mediocre. So Matthew Stafford is going to have a field day with that defense. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Even though they cut Deshaun Jackson, they're going to have a field day with that team. So with that being said, the Los Angeles Rams are going to beat the Tennessee Titans.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
And the final score, I guarantee you, watch, it's going to be something like 40-21.
Guaranteed.
Optimistic.
I guarantee it's going to be something like that.
48-14.
That's your score?
That's my score. Take it to Vegas.
Guaranteed.
Take it to Vegas.
Interesting. Okay. I just want to really quick just give those that are watching, Michelle, Lucinda, appreciate you. Thank you for joining me as moderators. They're doing a good job keeping the chat.
Keep all the trolls here. Anybody who want to talk about two black men, keep them all. I want all the slurs in the comments right now. Drop them all right now. Rereading them.
Yes, please forgive me, Michelle. Listen, Derrick Henry is one of my favorite football players. They're running that man into the ground, and that should be, and that's all the evidence you need to see.
So salute to Nashville though. It's a nice city.
It is, and it's on my bucket list.
Nashville is really nice. Nashville is really nice.
It really is. It's on my bucket list. I got to go check it out. So we're going to transition into Mr. Henry Ruggs III. In the last video, I did talk about this. I just have some closing thoughts to it. This is a teachable moment. Yeah, I'm listening on my iPad. I hear. It's a teachable moment, and we should be supportive of Henry. Both parties, both families, because they've both lost something, even though one's lost something they can't, that is not here on this earth anymore. He's only 22. You know, he's young. I understand it. You know, he should not have been drinking and driving. But it's kind of mind-boggling to me that if we're saying that we are a forgiving people, and I know everybody grieves and forgives at their own pace and time of their life. I understand that. But because he most likely will be in jail for 20, I think it's like 40 years. His football career may be over.
Ain't no May.
Well, I'm saying, I'm hoping. Well, let me say it like this: I don't want to say give him leniency, but I'm hoping that it's enough to where he sits there and reflects. I don't know if football. I doubt football will be there for him when he comes out. I really do. And again, I'm going to I'm kind of going back to what you said, or we talked about a few in your video, with Courtney Williams. When you're an athlete, not just athletes, but just as people, when we're in public, you got to move differently. If you're going to go out,
Black people, you got to move differently. As people with a platform, bro, especially black people, and they know we've all gotten these talks before. So I mean, it's like, go ahead, continue. Nate.
Yeah, no, like you were saying, like, you know, you just got to move differently. If you're going to go out, have a good time, take a Uber, take a Lyft. The NFL has a 24-hour shuttle, chauffeur service. They have those things. I mean, it's nice. You want to take the Corvette, take your girl out on the Corvette. That's nice. But hey, we're going to take an Uber this place. Now his career will never be over. Shoot, Michael Vick went to jail, came home straight to the field. But
Mike Vick ain't killed 22.
I mean,
it was just he had some association with some dogs, and they still didn't let him live. Like they let him, re-sign and everything, and all the community service he did, but his image never like really was repaired from that.
Well, I think also too, for me with that situation, with Michael Vick, even though he was never present when it took place, it just happened on his properties. They just ratted him out.
No, I think he was like involved with a couple of that was the thing.
He was
like
involved,
he admitted.
It happened on his properties, but I think him like physically being there. I remember they said he wasn't there.
Oh no, I think he was like one time. He had some involvement in some of the stuff. Like he had, like it was. I remember those. Just because I'm from Atlanta, so I remember a lot of the details and stuff.
And
Colin Kaepernick stayed getting offers to hit the field. All he did was take a stand.
And I believe Colin Kaepernick should be on the football team. But I think a lot of it has to do with the owners.
Yeah, and also being black. That has something.
Yeah,
black people, we just don't. This is beyond football. This is beyond the NFL. In life, we just don't have much room for error. So that. Like you're not oblivious to that. So I don't get 22. His image is just fine. These players will never focus on cancel culture, but you two don't understand. Athletes live by a different standard. All right, Lucinda. We'll see when they sentence him. We'll see if he lives by a different standard than the rest of us.
Well, I kind of get what she's saying to that extent. The athletes, we do kind of we look to them as like role models, and but there should be some form of accountability. Like I'm not saying like he should like we know what he did was wrong, but like
out of Nate, all due respect, I don't know if there's a but in this situation. He killed a woman, a 22-year-old, 23-year-old woman. That's not. But no, he killed someone. Henry, I'm sorry. I hate to do it to a young brother, everything like that. You got your money. You was a millionaire. You was in the NFL. You lived your lifelong dream from coming from Montgomery, Alabama. I understand. You killed the woman. It's over with, dog. I'm
My
sorry.
uncle
It
played
it, it
for the
just it
Lakers.
is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, what's your goal to do is once you do your time or whatever, really figure out how are you gonna turn this into something else. You know, your test is your testimony. You know the sayings and everything like that. How are you gonna figure out why am I still here? Okay, I'm still here. I'm still breathing for a reason. You got to figure out a way to turn this into a story to where you can go talk to kids. Don't be like me. You got to flip this into something because, like, but as far as him, you know, giving him the butt and, you know, giving him that lenience, like, I understand the forgiveness and everything. He killed someone. A family is dealing with life without their 23-year-old relative now for the rest of their life because this man decided to drink. He decided to drink. He decided to get behind the wheel. He decided to go 156 in a residential area in a non-freeway environment, 156, and kill the dog and the woman. It's done. It's over with. So you know what I'm saying? So you made that stupid mistake and everything like that. Everything I'm saying is not the first time, you know, you're gonna hear this from everybody. So I hate to rain down on you when everybody else is telling you the exact same thing, but there is no but here. It wasn't like a mess up is like you stole some Snickers from the store, right? And you got caught and you had to spend the night in jail. That's a mistake. Making multiple decisions. You have to make the decision to go out. You have to make the decision to drink. You have to during the season. You have to make the decision to drive back when you're drinking. Like there's so many decisions in that. This is no but in letting him off just because he's black and you know we want to protect him and everything he needs. You know what I'm saying? I get it, Nate. I
No,
respect it, but you can't hold back on him.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying, we know he has to be held accountable. First of all, we know that. I'm just saying that he needs support in this situation too, because you know there needs to be the Raiders need to be there for him. I was surprised that he wasn't put on the commissioner's exempt list. The Raiders cut him. I was surprised by that. I would have thought, okay, let's sit down with them. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's figure out what we're going to do. You know, to just cut them. To me, you know, I get with the whole thing with Oakland with John Green. That's a whole other different thing. That's one skill that didn't need. But I'm just saying that we need to be showing support for Henry too in the situation. That's all I'm saying.
Why?
Travion.
Why?
Why? Showing support.
And I hate to say it, but why? In this moment, if anything, it's like, bruh, give bruh his space. Let him, you know what I'm saying, deal with it. He's got to deal with these traumas and everything like that when he does his time. You deal with it, everything like that. As far as support, I think that's kind of two different things. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? The brother is from Montgomery, everything like that. You know, salute to him. But I don't know. I feel like support's kind of a different word here. That's just my personal view on it, though.
Right. No, I respect it. I do. Played. No, he was released. Lucinda. He got cut on the 27th of March of 2018. He got cut. Josh. Well, yeah, I remember that. Brent. Yeah, he was actually a good little player for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know why. I don't. Josh Brent. He was a defensive tackle. Because I think at one point they actually had him as a coach for Dallas. He accepted I think it was like in 2015. They had him as like a scout. Plexico Burris, New England Patriots, attempted criminal possession of a weapon. Yeah, I remember that. doesn't matter if he was cut, they still played, is my point. Right? No, I get what you're saying. I do.
But Ruggs is done. Ruggs is done. Ruggs is done. I don't see him coming back from this one. Because all of those cases, except for Plexico Burrs, like they weren't this big of a deal. Like they weren't covered to this level. Like you have to also understand that a lot of this stuff is public perception, right? So it's like NFL people, they don't re-sign people, not because of morals, because they prove to us time and time again they don't care about morals. It's all about public perception here. So it's like, Ray Rice. Ray Rice isn't signed again, but Greg Hardy and so like there's so many people who did the exact same thing Ray Rice did, and they get multiple chances because it wasn't caught on video and it didn't get on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Cecil Collins. Like all of these like cases and stuff. The difference between Henry Ruggs is not about the severity of what they did, but how much publicity it got. With Henry Ruggs being the biggest story in football this week. The second one being what in the world? Watching the Hawks game. But the second one being OBJ. I don't know, man. It's just like I don't know if you can bounce back from that if another team is going to sign him.
Well, I mean, look, the Dante Stallworth when he was with the Cleveland Browns,
It still wasn't that big of a deal. Dante wasn't that big of a deal. Like it was talked about a little bit. Mm-hmm. Wasn't talked about nearly as much as this Ruggs case.
Maurice Claret,
yeah, Maurice Claret, Ohio State legend. But I mean, Maurice Claret, like Joker didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like Maurice Claret, like he was back in college. He was the man. He get into the league, he didn't really do nothing. Like Maurice Claret, you weren't good enough to be doing some of the stuff you was doing, Joker. You weren't gonna get another chance because you weren't even irrelevant enough. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
well, he got drafted. I remember he got drafted like in the third round.
Yeah, he was the man in college.
He was,
man, homie. At Ohio State, you was the man, homie. What happened to you?
Again, as I stated, my son's best friend is a newly drafted player. Everyone has a past, and no matter what athletes all live on a different level. No, I don't disagree with that. I don't.
But I think it's that mentality. Like because Lucinda, like I'm actually gonna disagree with that because I feel like it's that mentality that we we're raised on, right? That we see it firsthand in high school where athletes get away with doing different stuff. My uncle played for the Lakers, cousin plays for the Raiders, and now with the Bills. And my son's best friend was drafted. Congratulations to all of them.
Your uncle played for the Lakers?
Yeah.
I need names.
Yeah. So when she gives that name, but I feel like that's just a common misconception that we were always kind of raised on is that athletes can't get away. So like in high school, if they didn't pass the test, the teachers will do something to make sure they pass the test and get on to college. In college, they did the same thing. So it's like they grow up with this mentality that they can get away with different stuff and they do operate at a different level, that they do stupid stuff like this. And then you go over the line and you do something and then people call you stupid like me. They get on the YouTube, they call you stupid. And you're like, how could you ever think that's possible and that's acceptable? And it's because they got away with cheating in high school. They got away with cheating in college. They got away with a late night with a lady friend or whatever. And, they doing this and that. And it didn't get out to TMZ or someone kept it under wraps and they swept it under the rug. You get away with so much, you think you're above the law. And guess what? You aren't, especially if you're black. People is preying on your downfall.
Dwayne Goodrich. Why does that name sound familiar? Dwayne Goodrich. Oh, the quarterback. He played for Dallas. Yes, I remember him. Jeez. Manslaughter. Wow. And killed two motorists who were trying to rescue a man from a burning car. Damn. That's messed up.
Thing is, though, it's not the severity of the situation of the case. It's how much publicity it gets. That's what it comes down to. And then Ray Rice is the perfect example of that.
Well, and also too with the Ray Rice thing, Also, too, there's some people that also not just with him hitting his wife caught on camera. He wasn't the same player because he had an injury. I think he had he was not the same running back. I think his yards per carry had dropped, and I think at one point they were kind of getting ready to move on from him anyway. So,
right. I mean, but Devontae Freeman and Adrian Peterson are still getting signed out here to teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you're ever something in the league, people are gonna hold on to you. Guess what? It's hundreds of players, no matter what color, all types of. How many have been covered to this severity though? How many? Look, listen, I'll wait for you to respond to that in the comments. How many of them have been covered? Like, out of all the players you named, the only case that was like kind of covered like this was Plaxico Burress. He didn't kill anybody. He just shot himself.
Daryl Henley. He's currently serving a 31-year prison sentence for whoa.
Did the league let him play again?
Wow.
Did the league let him play again? I'm sorry. I'm kind of sure. I'm sorry. Listen, I really appreciate these comments. They're like well researched, and I'm learning some things about some players as well. I appreciate the perspective of you coming from
All-American
a
at
family and
UCLA.
circle of professional athletes.
Damn. More than you know, it's a bunch have been covered. I'll give you the main one, OJ Simpson.
Did OJ Simpson play after he went on trial for murder? Did OJ Simpson get another? No. Here's another one. OJ Simpson, after his playing career, Monday Night Football man, right? After that murder trial, did OJ Simpson get another job on TV? Because I'm looking at him on Twitter at the game. Hello, Twitter world. It's me, OJ Simpson, at the game. Josh Allen can do this, but he has 30 fantasy points. Like, because there ain't nobody going to put him on TV. So that's the point. No one's going to give you a job after something like that. Not because of morals, because they prove to us time and time again they don't care about morals. Well, it's all about the publicity that it gets.
Well, question. Let me ask you this question, because it I understand what you're saying, but this is just where I stand. Regardless of race or whatnot, like it doesn't matter if you're an athlete or not. Your choices have consequences. Henry, yes, should have made better choices. I understand Vegas has strict DUI laws, and I know they found a gun in the car. He could potentially serve up to 40 years, but I'm hoping. I'm not saying he needs to get off scot-free. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying he needs to be off scot-free. He does need to be held accountable. But I want to say at least 9 years probation. I think that's fair. I think, in my personal opinion. To put a man in there for 40 years, Sam Hurd, don't bring that name up. Sam Hurd is one of my favorite players in Madden.
I love that comment. I love that response to the comment that he's one of my favorite players.
Sam Hurd.
That's funny. That's funny.
Sorry, OJ Simpson has been offered
a whole Netflix deal after that. He was?
I didn't know that.
He got offered a Netflix deal?
Tommy Kane.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Lucinda. You put me on. I didn't know that. I didn't know they offered him.
Killing us with these comments tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I love Lucinda.
Shout out to Lucinda for real. Like I said, I really appreciate it.
And listen, she knows how to she knows how to debate you.
But I'm saying like this. All right, so in a personal situation, I lost someone to a car accident in the last couple months. And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. But if that person, on the other side, right, if it was like they went to court and whatnot, and then no, say it was someone famous, and then you have I go online, right, and like my whole kind of world's been turned upside down because of this tragedy, and I see something that's like, but we need to support them on the other side. I'm thinking like, forget them, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, forget them, bro. Like, my, whoever it was to me in my life is gone forever. And like, their children are gonna have to live without them forever. Their cousins, their mom, their sister. Like, I'm not thinking about the celebrity just because the celebrity's famous. Like, who cares if you're famous? Like, that's where I'm coming from with it, Nate.
Okay. Henry will get off. They do the CT scans of his brain, his childhood football and pee-wee. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, that's that's the comment of the day right there. And she does have a good point.
Oh no, I don't know, Lucinda. Like I said, I mean, you already talked about it. Players of
I
all.
lost two cousins. Damn.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, sorry for your loss, Lucinda. But dang, that's tough. But
Lucinda,
I don't know.
I need
Like,
to know.
we're on just such a short leash, so it's kind of hard for me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand he has the privilege of being because that's definitely privilege. And like she
Right.
said, it is okay. All right, so I'm gonna go and renege a little bit. It is a difference when you talk about, you might have a little chance because you got a platform, but at the same token, there's some places where it don't matter. If anything, having a platform and being that puts a bigger, larger target on you, Meek Mill. But yeah, like, so yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
All right, we can debate on that. I promise you, he will not do that time. The NFL takes care of their own. Yeah, that's
What
true.
they doing for Kaepernick? Can I have a shout out? Shout out to Annie Gurr. Annie Gurr, she put my she screenshotted me. Is that my face?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Shout out to Annie Gurr. Annie Gurr.
Also, too, really quick, Lucinda, you said that you had an uncle that played for the Lakers, and your cousin now plays for the Bills. I need to know who that is. I'm interested now.
Need to get Lucinda on here.
Well, that's an episode that's coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh snap! Is that the first time you said that on here? Did I spoil it?
Yes, you did. But it's all good though. Don't worry about it. Yep, I will not say names. Crap. Now I gotta look. Now, yeah, she's been on this show. She's been on the show before. We brought her on. I brought her on as the topic of, I can't remember what episode it was, and that's why Henry Ruggs is my favorite Nathan's podcast special guest.
Shout out to Annie Gurr. What up, Jenna? What up, Sean?
Sean was good, or whatever the guys.
All right. My name is. Oh, you thought my name was Henry Ruggs? Oh.
No.
Oh.
And shout out to the guy on the right. He's a very great guy.
Shout out to Annie Gurr. Yeah. My name's Rashad.
So we're gonna transition into Mr. Discount Double Check, Aaron Rodgers. Wow. So Aaron Rodgers actually lost a sponsor deal today. Well, yeah. That's with some like healthcare company. It's a healthcare provider because of the misinformation. Okay. Pretty much, he was on the Pat McPhee show. Shout out to Pat McPhee. I love that show, actually. My son's best friend was just drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now I'm curious. And also, Zach LaVine is the GOAT. The Chicago Bulls are playing pretty well. So he did say something like in the lines of he's allergic to two of the ingredients in two of the vaccines. I can't remember. I think it was Pfizer and Moderna. But he said he had talked to in the interview with Pat McPhee. He talked to the guy with the UFC.
Joe Rogan, the guy with the podcast.
Yes.
I
And
talked to the knowledgeable Joe Rogan, or you might know him as the guy who smokes weed on his podcast.
yeah, he took, according to the comments, he took, I cannot pronounce this. It was like, it starts with an I. It's something that ivermectin
Oh, my bad.
and hydrochloroxicline. Yeah, those are the things that he took. I mean, honestly and truthfully, when I look at how, honestly, like, he should have just been upfront. Again, it's not, I mean, at the time when the season started, because the media at the beginning of COVID didn't want these guys to play football. And then, you know, there were a lot of questions. Are you vaccinated? Are you this? Are you that? So, you know, that my fear was this honor system thing was not going to go. It's not what I think it is. He should have just been honest and said, look, you know, this is where I stand with it, X, Y, and Z. You know, especially with the whole thing with Kyrie. I think the way how Kyrie was vilified, that's his choice, and we have to respect that.
His choice affects other people's lives as well. Just to mention it, it does affect other people's lives.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, I think the way Aaron's handled it. If there's a mod in here, can we handle that, please?
They're saying what they're saying, what the troll's saying.
How are you gentlemen doing on this fine day? So yeah, that happened. The media was so desperate for him to play, they didn't press Aaron Rodgers on this topic. Yeah, I agree. Now he won't play this weekend. So yeah. Yeah. Can we handle? Thank you. But what do you think about Aaron Rodgers? Should, you know, like, first and foremost, he's not going to get suspended, because if that's the case, then all of us, as we all have lied at least once and a few times in our life. Like, he should have been honest. Yes, they're going to slap a fine on him and leave it at that.
Well, I think is what he told the media, what he told the NFL. Like, is that the issue? Because if he just lied to the media, I don't know if you should be fined for that, for lying to the media. As long as, like, the NFL knows your vaccination status and the Packers know your vaccination status.
No, I think it was more. Yeah, I think, you know, it was more of the wanting to know where everyone was standing, because at that time, you know, we're getting ready to play. Like, hey, are you vaccinated? Are you this or that? Some people were saying.
So it's just what he said to the press, right? Is that
he said.
I don't think he should be fined or anything or suspended for what he said to the press. Like, what he said to the press was, I mean, like he said, like, technically he didn't lie. Like, he thought he was immune due to his little Dr. Sebi little practices. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, that's just how I feel about it. My answer to, like, everybody who's like a conspiracy theories on this is, like, think back last year to this time in sports, every single week in college football, high school football, and on the NFL level, we had multiple games canceled every single week because of some COVID outbreaks within programs and within different teams. Big Nate, don't worry about the comments, man. If it's someone, like, I see it working you up, man. Chill out. We talking sports. It's fun. If there's a troll, let the trolls troll. It is what it is. But But yeah, man. Like, what's the one difference between last year and this year? Because there's not a lot of games being canceled, if any, in college football or the NFL, because of COVID outbreak. So what's the one difference between last fall and this fall?
No difference, honestly.
There's one huge difference in this fall and last fall. When last fall there was a bunch of cancellations, a bunch of postponements because of COVID outbreaks within teams, and this fall where there have been no major cancellations in any games with NFL or college football. Right? There's one difference. There's one difference in what we have available to us. So that's all I have to say to conspiracy people and people who don't trust it, because it's like, but yeah, that's all I had to say on that.
I agree. Thank you. I'm listening to him, Sean. I'm listening to him. I focused. I'm hearing him. We're on a transition. I just want to really quick transition into the NBA with the Wizards. We played those Milwaukee Bucks. Lucinda, congratulations. Your Golden State Warriors are 7-1.
Yeah, that Joker Steph is something else, man. That Joker Steph is something else. And like people like predicted them to be good this year. Like some people predicted them to win the West. And I was like, oh, y'all out y'all mind, boy. Like Iguodala 86. And yes, it's the first week. Like the NBA really doesn't like really start until Christmas. I always look back at LeBron's first year with the Lakers when they were the first seed. And you remember that in the West at Christmas, and they were playing Golden State, and I think they were blowing them out. And LeBron got hurt like shortly after, if he didn't get hurt on Christmas Day, and then they didn't make the playoffs. So I mean, I always think about that.
Hold on real quick. I personally do not feel anyone's vaccination is anyone's business. That is vaccination. Yes, it is. I agree. Good point.
I hear that, Lucinda and Nate. The thing about vaccination status is like it's pivotal to someone's like life. like right. If I don't know if you're vaccinated or not, and we're both sitting in a room with no mask on, yes, I would like to know if you are vaccinated or not. Because if you aren't vaccinated, then it decreases the chances of me not only getting COVID, but spreading COVID to other people who are at high risk. I've lost a lot of people to COVID. I don't know about y'all. So it's like I don't want to have those. Exactly. So I don't want to have that blood on my hands of like, dang, just because I didn't know if someone had. I didn't want to offend them and ask, hey, are you vaccinated? It's everybody's business, Lucinda. Like, this is not like I feel like that's a logical argument in everything in life. Like, stay in your lane. Don't worry about anybody else's business. I 100% agree with that. With something like this, since it does affect everybody else in the room, it is everybody else's business.
Oh, my God. Oh, thank you, Sean. Thank you. I appreciate that. Go green, go white. Michigan State. That ruined my mood. Thank you, Sean. Draymond Green. Shout out to Draymond. Maybe the Warriors will always be the business. How is that new arena, by the way, in Golden State? I'm just curious. My uncle is in the hospital right now, fully vaccinated on the breathing machine. Thoughts and prayers. Send prayers, y'all. Prayers your way. Damn, it's crazy. You were talking about the Warriors. No, you said green. You said go green, go white. Nice try. We're going to transition into the WNBA. Chase Arena is beautiful. That's what it's called, Chase Arena. Well, I'm not sure if you heard about this, Lucinda. And we'll start off with this, and then we're going to talk into the season. Oakland Alana Coates leading a group to have a WNBA team in Oakland.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming, because I did it.
From what I understand, they could potentially play at where the Warriors were last season. It goes against the Constitution. It's a violation of HIPAA. Okay, I got you. I got you.
Asking players and public figures at their press conferences if they're vaccinated or not is not a violation of HIPAA, by the way.
Okay. Oracle Arena. That's where they're going to play. Yes, this planned Oakland team led by Alana Beard. What I say, Alana Coates?
Yeah, I think you. I think you did.
Alana
It was a couple
Beard,
minutes ago, so I can't remember. But yeah,
Alana
Beard,
not Alana Coates.
Alana Beard.
She's leading the group. That's where they're supposedly going to play. I have concerns about that because I think they need to start at a smaller venue. I'm serious because
No. I understand what you're saying. It was just funny when you first said it because it was just kind of like a shock factor or whatever. Like that's not what I expected you to say. I get it. Right. Continue. It just surprised me.
Because my concern the first year is they're going to lose money. Okay. Like look at the Sparks. Like the Sparks play at the convention center in LA because it's smaller. The Mystics moved into where the St. Elizabeth Hospital used to be because it's smaller. Like they could play at Stanford. They could play at a few like just small places. My biggest concern is, I'm not sure if you know who this is, but she's on Twitter. It's Natural Wonder, like Mermaid Okor.
Oh, Mamet, yeah. Shout out to Mamet. Yeah, she's like one of the Twitter Hall of Fame. She's really good.
Twitter Hall of Fame.
She's really good. Shout out to my boy Bailey as well. Bailey was good.
And I was in that Twitter space and I asked a question, and Lucinda could probably ask this question. For one guy, he's from Oakland. Like, what would be the fan support for a WNBA team in Oakland be like? Like, that's my concern. How do you like ideas of team names? Because one thing is too, like, my issue is, no, I'm talking about like the fan base, like general overall, like what does Oakland feel as a city of getting a WNBA team? Because I'm not against it, but when you have 12 teams already that have issues of itself, bro, do you see the fan support for the Oakland Raiders? Oakland fans go hard for the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first thing I think about to go to Lucinda's point, you think about the Warriors back when they were bad, right? Oh, go ahead.
I'm out. These same fans, Lucinda, do y'all show support for the Oakland Athletics? I'm just curious. I'm serious because look, I understand the Coliseum is old. They're holding it with tape and gum, but come on, man. Ricky Henderson's rolling over in his grave watching those Athletics play. Billy Bean, Bob Melvin. Don't get me wrong, like Raider Nation, man, is okay. Oakland fans rep Oakland A's. Goes happy and done for real. Okay. So the idea of having a WNBA team, would you mind that?
I say
seriously, not taping gun. Well, it's getting old. She's up there. I think she's been she's not getting younger. That stadium is she's old.
It's like the Rose Bowl. Like both of those stadiums remind me of like kind of like the ceilings where it crumbles and you like the debris.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm surprised that they would want to move to somewhere near Howard Terminal. They want to play on the waterfront. That should be interesting. But
like I was saying with Golden State though, remember when Golden State was really bad and they still sold out every night?
For sure.
It was really loud. So I kind of look at that of that type of support that they've had for the Warriors, and I think it could kind of work from that. You could see it, and just the fact of the demographics. You talk about the lack of support for the A's lately, but I mean, Oakland's a black city. You know what I'm saying? So especially with the Warriors moving out, to the suburbs now, I think if you kind of puncture that Bay kind of demographic right there in the heart of Oakland.
We
You
real
know,
California,
I think
Bay
you
Area
give
born
yourself.
residents who are born and bred in San Francisco and Oakland support our teams no matter what. So does the San Diego Padres count too?
I think. Well, I don't know anything about California. I'm not gonna act like I do.
Bring, man, Mark Curry from hanging with Mr. Cooper. They were loved by that area. Yeah, I mean, like if the supports for the team is there, I mean, they just it's a proposal, so it's going to the league. But I don't want to have a 13th team, and we still have other issues with the league, like the Connecticut Sun and the Chicago Sky, for example. When you have both teams having to take 3 separate flights because they don't want to, they want their own seats. That's a problem to me. Like, they should have their own charter. We shouldn't be going in the year 25. Yep, San Diego counts. Any team in California. Okay, I got you. We shouldn't be having those issues. We really should not. Then Drake, you talked about this. Me personally, he the picture with Liz Cambage, and I know we'll talk about her in a second. Wanting a team in Toronto, the Toronto Raptorettes. Come to mind as a team name, the Raptorettes. You know what? If Drake really wanted a team there, he would have already done it. But again, it's not that easy. Like, I don't want the WNBA to fall flat on its face. I want it to expand, but we got to address these issues first. And especially with the overseas thing, got to talk about, we need to address that. I have been saying they need to more minutes, expand the rosters. And the teams that are like the big brother to them, they need to be more with them. I know Washington, Phoenix, Los Angeles. I mean, they're all still supporting, but man, it just I was really glad to see the league do well for 25 years, but I feel like we still got some work. We still got some work to do. What do you think?
A lot of work. I think that helps. So it's like the fan support, the public fan support, and the public fan passion. Oh, look at the chart. Oh! Yo, this Phoenix Hawks game is really good. It's in a minute and a half left, but I think with I think we're on the right path. The Oakland Almeida. Oh, okay. I don't want to get too far off glass. I was about to get way off glass. The grassy area is open to all ticketed fans. The design, Coliseum, and the Oracle Arena. Yeah. Dang, what was I talking about? I was just talking about
the fans.
Okay. Yeah. I think the WNBA is headed in the right direction with this fan support because, led by everybody on Twitter, like the Mimets, and which is not her actual, obviously, because it's just a play on Mehmet Okur's name, but but with the Mimets and everybody in those spaces, in her spaces, because that's pretty much like the side of WNBA Twitter that like kind of gets stuff done, of calling them out and staying on their back and not letting up. I think with those people and what you do on your YouTube channel, what other people are doing and stuff like that online, of publicly challenging the league to be better and to do better, I think it's a good first step. I think the league is moving in the right direction because we won't let up and we won't kind of let them. It is what it is, and kind of let it go by the wayside. We fight. Right. So I think it's going in the right league because of the fans.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What did you like about this season? What didn't you like?
What I didn't like was the lack of kind of transparency on what happened to the number 4 overall pick from
Relationship with your
Oh my
children.
God.
the number 4 pick from the 2021 draft and the number 4 pick from the 2020 draft. Both just kind of disappeared, and we got no explanation on both of them.
Can you
And
tell about Kennedy Carter and Kaiser?
Kaiser, both of them.
Well,
Kaiser
like,
Gondrajic.
I'm not sure if you saw this, but there's a picture of them.
I saw it. Yeah.
They were at an Adidas, I think it was an Adidas party.
Yeah, it looked like an Adidas event. And they were smiling like, ha, we know we've been gone and we didn't tell anybody while we were gone, but here's a picture. And like, it's just like, I don't like that, because it's like, that will never happen in the NBA. If, some people just went missing or just, disappeared. Like, we were talking about the Kyrie coverage just a couple of minutes ago. Like, you don't even get that type of courtesy in the W with the coverage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true.
we don't get that transparency, that openness. So that's what I didn't like about it. What I did like about it,
we should have talked about that more.
Right. I mean, but the thing is, we just didn't know. Like, it's like, you can't talk about what you don't know.
Right.
Like, it needed someone to tell the reporters what's going on. Like,
Right.
with Woj and the NBA, like, people are gonna squill over everything. Like,
Right.
we found out remember the Jimmy Butler thing in Minnesota? Like, Jimmy Butler said he dunked on Cat and called him a beep bleep bleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't get that in the W. It's just like, she's gone. They don't want to talk about it. Ain't no one talking about it. And it's kind of like we just accept it. So that's one thing that I didn't like about it. It's the lack of transparency and kind of in-depth reporting. Salute to Girls Talk Sports and Christina Williams. Even though she called me a fan, it's all good. I still.
Oh,
rock with
wow.
her.
Yeah, she kind of descended to me.
But
I know there's two people that I guess copied the name, and everyone kind of went off on them about that. I'm not sure.
what it copied what name? Like what? Girls Talk Sports?
No, it was on her Twitter, on the Spotify space.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think there was no intent, but
Right. Right.
What did I not like? Well, we'll start with the dislikes, then we'll go on the pros. What I did not like. The 2021 draft class.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming, because I didn't.
Arguably the most disappointing class as a fan of basketball. You two keep assuming the NFL and NBA, etc., feel like they owe us explanation. I keep telling you two they play by different rules. They won't tell you what they want to tell.
But but example, Lucinda. So like, if like no one told us anything about Kyrie Irving, if he just left, it's still a story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're still gonna talk about it every day on First Take. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something with Russell Wilson, if Russell Wilson just disappeared, right? They're still going to talk about it. Like, what's going on with Russell Wilson? Is it this? Is it that? The Seattle Seahawks won't tell us what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And if it's like something, if it's an injury, like, they'll still look skeptical. Oh, I'm skeptical. Are we sure that Russell Wilson's actually hurt? Like, that's going to be a topic on First Take and Undisputed, et cetera, et cetera. So,
I mean, you say the same thing with Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas was quiet. But also, too, like, when you're the 4th overall pick, like, she played in 13 games. Like, Tamika Catchings didn't make a statement. Nobody said anything. Even in their exit interview, nobody brought up, well, what's the status on Kaiser? And even if you just said, okay, we respect that. We just want to make sure that she's okay. Because, I mean, she was on social media, nothing. I'm sitting there going like, okay, something's not right with that. Did they tell you about AI? Nope. Allen Iverson is a perfect example.
AI didn't disappear for an entire season. Like, I think that's the point here. Like, if AI just disappeared for, like, say, Gilbert Arenas, right?
Hibachi.
Like, Gilbert Arenas just didn't get suspended for 72 games and nobody knew what happened, you know? Like, we knew down to what they were fighting over in the locker room. Like that's how much we know about that situation. Like
Yeah.
if AI, Klay
Same
Thompson,
thing.
same thing.
Well, Klay Thompson coming back, so we know he's been well. He's first and foremost he's on my next 25 top players of all time, and we know he's pissed about not making the list.
I don't know why he was that mad about not making 75. Like he doesn't. His case isn't that good. Like come on, Klay. Like
But he's one of the
Dwight
best shooters
Howard's
in the game.
case is that good. Klay
Dwight
Thompson's
Howard should
case
be-
is not that good, in my opinion.
I hear you, but he should be. We gotta put some respect on his name though. But
Salute
back-
to him. He's a an elite scorer, someone who can. Oh, come on, Bogey. He's someone who can that scored 30 plus points in a quarter. That has to save for something. Go for 13 from three. You know what I'm saying? That stands for something. He's a great winner. But top 75 players of all time is a hefty feat. The reason why people are saying it with Dwight Howard is because Dwight Howard was the most dominant man big in the game for half a decade.
Here's why I think he didn't make that list. Post Orlando, Los Angeles, and Houston. That's why I think Dwight Howard didn't make that list.
So, what did he do from 2004 to 2012?
We're not listen. I'm not ignoring that, but they're looking at playing with Kobe, Steve. We listen. Steve Nash wasn't the same player. Kobe was older. Pau Gasol.
And who carried them to the playoffs in spite of Dwight Howard on a broken back? No one brings that up, by the way, of that first Lakers. Like you said, like everybody was trash that year. Meta World Peace was old. Steve Nash was old. Lamar Odom was on crack. Is all these things, right?
Stephen A. Smith was wrong for
and
that.
then it's just like I just.
They will only tell you what they deem they need to know. Look, the owners have shareholders and investors whom they don't want knowing everything. You two don't get sports.
Oh money. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about the Benjamin.
I know you're lying, Clay LeJohn. Uh-oh. Look.
75. Yeah, I mean, okay, all right. Of course, the Oakland, the Warriors fan is gonna tell me I'm tripping. All right. But I mean, like it's the greatest 75 players to ever touch a basketball. It's not a diss if you don't say Klay Thompson has never even been the best player on his team. What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now?
Oh, of course. Meta World Peace, no doubt about that.
But that year in 2013 is what we're talking about. Meta World Peace was trash. Paul Gasol was kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like Dwight is the reason why they made it. Bring me on with Lucinda. Bring me on with Lucinda next time.
Okay.
I'm ready, Lucinda.
No, but seriously, no, I think.
How are you gonna be an undisputed top 75 player of all time when you were never the best player on your team? You were never the best player on your entire NBA career. So it's not like dang, this is without a doubt Klay Thompson needs to be. It's not that because it's not that. Go ahead, Nick.
But Klay Thompson has shown he can hold his own weight. But I look.
You can hold your own weight and make an all-star team. This is the greatest 75 players of all time.
So let me ask you a question. How many points do you have, sir? What team drafted you?
I'm not claiming to be one of the top 75 players of all time. There's a difference, Lucinda. Like I'm just talking about the game. I'm not saying I should be on the top 75 list.
So question. So Tony Parker made the list.
Yes.
Tracy McGrady.
I think Tim. Oh wait, hold on. I don't know why I went to Tim Duncan, but I mean when you think of Tim Duncan is hands down. He was always the best player on his team until the end of his career. He is hands down the greatest power forward of all time. He had 4 rings. How many do I have? I didn't claim to be a top. Lucinda, like all due respect, these arguments, these points you're making have nothing to do with the top 75 because I'm not claiming to be a top 75. Because I'm not claiming to be a top 75 player of all time. So you're just kind of like just throwing random things out because like I said something about your favorite team. But what are we talking about now? Tony Parker. I think Tony Parker makes a great case. But you do have a lot of opinions, sir. I do. But Tony Parker, he has a great case. Tracy McGrady, one of the greatest scorers of his time. If he makes the list, I'm not mad at it. If he didn't, did he make the list? He made the list, right?
Oh, he did. He was
He
snubbed off the
didn't.
list.
I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal, though.
Dikembe
He was a Hall of
Mutombo.
Famer.
I'm gonna tune into that. Abs, me too, Sean.
I'm ready already.
Who else? Dikembe Mutombo, Alex English.
Yeah,
But
Alex
again,
English, one of the greatest scorers of his time as well.
I mean, if you look at that list, it's all subjective, and of course, everyone, how when like I will say this: Dwight Howard should have been on that list. That 75 list has a lot that should not be on there.
Did y'all see the Kyrie thing? Did you see the Kyrie thing? It's Kyrie, like if you look up like Nets NBA 75, like Kyrie has a thing, and then you click on it, and then it's like page not found.
Oh no, that ain't right.
Yeah,
That
so
ain't
it's like it actually exists.
Who said who do you think should not be on that list? That should actually be another topic. We could save that for another topic.
I think Damian Lillard doesn't have a case over Dwight Howard. I got you, Lucinda. We was debating in the comments today. I'm ready.
But
I'm ready.
but let's get back on track. But back to the WNBA.
How did we get to the NBA 75 list and Clay Thompson? But all right, continue.
But no, the 2021 draft class, very underachieving. I'm not sure if COVID transition from college to the league played a role. When your number one overall pick and the fourth overall pick are not, we would be here all night on that 75 list. Good point. They're not getting I would have thought to have seen development with Charlie Owak. Am I saying her name right? And
Wow.
Chelsea Dungy.
Dungy.
Thank you, Dungy. I apologize. I didn't see that in Dallas. Vicki Johnson's a good coach, but I think no. Rashard, you seem cool, bruh, but don't come from my Warriors.
Yeah, Lucinda, it's all respect. But I know you. I know it wasn't a personal attack against me. I just I know it's your favorite team.
Yeah, no. Lucinda's cool peoples. She's cool.
I love Steph. Steph has like been that's a side note. Steph has been like my favorite basketball player since 2008.
Yeah, facts. Cons. I did not like. I don't like the seeding. I feel like we should go back to the way it was before. Have the East and the West. I think to have your one seed like that, I think that kind of throws it off. In my personal opinion, I didn't like that. But
I mean, I feel like it still kind of ended up being, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember, what year was it? Where it was like the past couple of years has been like an East team versus a West team. Like I know with when y'all won Connecticut, it was 2 East teams and 2 like Northeast teams, which is really weird thinking about it now, a couple of years later. But
I have plenty of pictures of my children and Steph, and yeah.
Great
guy.
So salute to his cousins too. Shout out to Wesley. That's my dog. Over here in Atlanta, she works at CNN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's got some roots in the South. But yeah, thing. I was on. Oh yeah, West versus East. West versus East, and keeping it.
We played Connecticut in the finals.
I like West versus. Nah, I like the overall seeds. I ain't gonna lie, because the league is so small. I feel like to get the best teams,
get the best teams in there.
Get the best teams.
I did not like the idea of who is the GOAT of the league. I don't like that. It's not a shot at Diana Taurasi. Diana Taurasi is a Hall of Famer. But I think that does a disservice to what the other women before her have done. Tina Thompson, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Lisa Leslie, so many others that had an impact on the game. I think to say one player is the best in the league. I don't like that. I don't believe in that greatest of all time thing. I believe in greatest of each generation.
Well, I think the greatest of all time thing, it drives debate. You know, it's like the LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kareem, you know, Kobe, you know, that entire argument. Like it drives debate, it drives conversation around the league. So I think you know, I think it's just I think it is I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to drive the debate. But now officially giving like Diana Taurasi the GOAT ball, and then everybody saying like, you know, if she hits a three, they go to a timeout and they're like, the GOAT just hit a three. She's on fire. Like, I think that's a bit problematic because now it's like people think that Diana Taurasi's hands down the GOAT. And it's not a Michael Jordan situation.
No.
Even though people have tried to make the Jordan thing a debate the last couple of years.
Right. And that bothered me for sure. It's nothing personal against Diana. I just don't do who is the GOAT. I just don't.
I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for the game, though.
Exactly. Greatest of all time is more of a debate and less being authentic.
No, Lucinda. You're wrong again. It's all about money. You don't understand, Lucinda. It's all about money. That's the thing of the greatest of all time. Who's the greatest of all time at making the money for these businesses? Continue, Nate.
Please tell me that was strong. Oh my gosh. What else? The WNBA still has issues it needs to figure out. I already talked about the air travel. The living quarter arrangements, where Skylar Diggins and Breonna Turner have to go on social media and talk about the hotel they stayed at. He said, "Boy, bye." Because of the way the hotel situation is, like the room wasn't clean, the beds weren't made, no towels. He's trying to use his own words against me. Doesn't work. No, that's bothering. Bill Lambiers talked about having to wait in line for food for over 20 minutes. That makes no sense. Coaching. I think some of the coaching decisions that have been made, but you're right, it is all about the almighty dollar. The overall decision making of the coaching. I think Bill Lambier, in my personal opinion, holds Asia Wilson from being great.
Shout out to Mehmet. Like she really pushed that to the mainstream and stuff like that.
If Asia's saying that she's been working on her 3-point shot and she wants to shoot threes, look, I'm going to give her the confidence to do it. Bill Lambier is old school. He doesn't believe in threes. He's more post player pick and roll. Money, money, money. The $1 Million Man theme song. Yeah, that your MVP of the season, the first couple games was virtually non-existent.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
I'm talking about Jonquel Jones. I think Alyssa Thomas, took the energy. Let me take it this way. She disrupted the flow that Connecticut had. When I mean disrupted it, I think they relied on her, and I think she was doing too much. There's no way in heck my MVP should have 10 points in game one. Brianna Jones, in my personal opinion, is the second MVP. I think she's the second. I think she is. She's the second best player on the team. Jonquel, then Alyssa.
I think she's better than DB. That's a hot take. I'm not gonna lie.
I think DeWan. I'm not taking anything away from DeWan, but I'm just saying she has to play like exactly. They lean on her a lot. People have to understand it's a pandemic. Hotels and restaurants are short staffed. Folks are complaining about room service need to stop. Well, he talked about having to wait, and the hotel that they were staying at, they weren't following COVID protocol. So Yeah, other than that, he just said that the hotel staying, they need to work on that. They're definitely on Melissa Thomas a lot. But, yeah, some of the coaching decisions, got to question it. As far as the draft goes, the Mystics, Dream, Fever, and the Sparks, if I'm saying that right. Make sure I have that right. It should be.
All the teams, because the Sparks were the last team to miss. They almost made it. They were in it at the last day.
It's Dallas. They from Los Angeles. Dallas has
got the pick from LA.
2 first-round picks.
Oh dang! I like to apologize to those 2 incoming rookies in advance.
Well, he should have left the hotel. What the hell? Well, some of it also too is it's whatever the league can hold their players. So, that was pretty much the cons of the season. But other than that, I think it was a great year. There were some surprise teams. I don't know what next year is going to look like. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi may be gone. This might have been their last year together on their respective teams. We've seen the rise of New York, Dallas. We saw a 500 team win the championship.
Bullshit.
No disrespect to Candace Parker. We've also seen what the league can be going forward. I think the league is at a point where it's ready for expansion, but we have to address the issues. There's the talent that's currently in the league now. The league is in great hands for many years to come. Skylar, Asia, Sabrina. I would put Ted Cooper on that list. Seitu Sabli, Arike, Kalia Copper. The league has talent, and it's definitely. I can't remember. Oh, BG, can't forget about her. So, I mean, other than I think it was a great season. Just the draft, but other than just. I wasn't a fan of we had to move games because of scheduling conflict. I think there was – we were talking about that earlier. She wants to bring expansion to Oakland. We talked about that earlier. This is apparent. I'm kind of noticing that this group, I wasn't sure, Rashad, maybe you can help me out with this. Are they working with the other teams in the league as well, or are they just trying to get a team in Oakland?
Oh no. I literally do not know if that partnership group is working with any other team in the league right now.
Okay.
I probably should since it's African American, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Looking at this draft, well, we don't know who's going to have the lottery at the moment, but we all know that Ryan Howard most likely will be the #1 overall pick. Then we got Nelasia Smith.
I think her it's Nalissa.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Shakira Austin,
Ashley Jones from Iowa State.
Jessica Carter.
Jessica Carter, she's stepping away from basketball.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know like what's going on, but yeah, she got arrested a month ago. And then, like, a couple weeks ago, it came out, like, after Nikki McCray-Penson announced she was resigning, stepping down at Mississippi State.
Right, yeah.
Jessica was just like, I'm stepping away from basketball for a minute. So,
jeez. Man, well, send my thoughts and prayers to her. Because actually, they had on one mock draft, they have her in the top 5.
Yeah, exactly. I was seeing the same things.
And again, center 6'5". We need, that's why I said we need Alana Coates. We need Alana Beard. We need them in the league going against Brittany Griner. We need that. Liz Cambage. We need to see that. So
Big body bends. Remember, I used to be Dusty.
I know say two Sally sisters in there. She'll probably you know what? I guarantee that the Dallas Wings are going to draft her.
Guarantee.
Something just tells me she's going to find a way. Can you please draft my sister to the team? Yeah, I know Damian Lillard's mother is a part of it. They want the franchise in Oakland. I'm trying to figure out what about other, like, why Oakland? Like, no disrespect, but was there any other, like, I know we talked about Miami, Philadelphia, Charlotte,
Houston, it's like Houston, Sacramento, Charlotte, bringing back them. I feel like you should bring back teams first.
Yep. Bring the Charlotte Sting back, the Orlando Miracle.
Houston
Comets.
I mean, that's your greatest franchise in the league's history.
I wish you would not use that raggedy Charles Barkley. It goes well with some of the things, particularly when I come up with the score predictions. Man, but pros, I mean, other than that, I will say the only thing other than that by Washington Mystics disappointed me, it was a great season for number 25. It really was. I mean, again, I feel like, especially starting the podcast and talking about the Mystics, I feel like I played a little part in killing the narratives about the league, especially after the whole Root Parade. I mean, the WNBA parade uses the worst Stephen Hayes. Oh, man. With the whole at the Chicago thing, where people were like, oh, nobody showed up at that parade. And that was BS. That's not true. People showed out. People supported the Chicago Sky. People supported the Phoenix Mercury. People supported the Connecticut. There is fan support. I just think that, you're going to have people.
Well, and like it none of it comes down to the actual game or the actual league. Like, it's just
right.
The men's general respect for women. Like, we don't respect women. That's all it is.
And we need to give them the respect that they deserve.
You're preaching to the choir, Nate. I don't think anybody watching this is like, I don't respect women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think anybody watching this is thinking that. So it's just like, but I mean, it's up to society to change just in general.
I agree.
To ultimately respect the WNBA, and women's sports in general and just women in general.
Yep. I agree. I don't know what next year's going to look like. This free agency's offseason is going to be fire. Because this offseason determines a lot of teams and what they look like going forward. I know the Atlanta Dream, they need prayers. They need holy wire. They need sage. So do the Mystics. Because we don't have a lot of money. And I'll get on to more of that. Indiana, I still think they can build. Well, Rashad. Oh, you guys are definitely helping. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Indiana's fine where they're at. I still think, building around Kelsey. I still think you could build around Kaiser, Tierra McCowan.
Kaiser doing what? Playing basketball?
I see her coming back.
What did she do last season in her 13 games, Nathan?
Well, hold on. But who was starting those majority of those games? Danielle Robinson.
Right.
They brought her in there to help mentor her. Kaiser.
I just don't know if she showed enough. I'm sorry for stuttering. I'm getting
You're
all
fine.
excited. I just don't know if she's shown enough for you to be like, yeah, that's a piece we could build around. I think that's someone you can keep on your team just because you know what she did in college. And you're like, okay, we still want to trust her and give her a couple years to develop. But I don't know if that's someone you could say you could build around, just especially based off of what you've seen on the court so far.
So I have a question. So when Taya Cooper came in the league, was she someone you could build around?
Yeah, she was pretty good her rookie season.
Okay, just checking. You don't think with 13 games it was enough for Kaiser?
She didn't show me anything that was like, yo, Kaiser, this needs to be one of your cornerstones.
Okay.
Look, Lucinda, by the way, I do respect you. You know, it's all.
I think she's just kidding.
I know. It's the same one.
I still think they didn't get Victoria Vivian's back. I like Chelsea Perry. She's supposed to come back off an injury. Erica Cannon stepped up. So they just need one more piece. Tiffany Mitchell, I mean, obviously she's not going to. I think they just need one more piece to the puzzle. But I don't think Coach Stanley is the coach for them.
I don't know if it's one piece. They were pretty bad, man. They were pretty bad. It's gonna take a couple folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might take a whole new starting five. like you got the Mitchells and you got McCowan. Okay, I might even bring McCowan off the bench or something like that. I like McCowan because she's 6'7" and she's a pretty good player. But like,
you don't think you wouldn't bring back Victoria Vivian's?
Vivian's is a great player. I think she's a great rotational player. I don't know if she's a good starter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just you got to look at how bad they were. Like, it was such a large gap. It's a huge gap, you know, this year between them and the rest of the league, except for the Dream, with the exception of the Dream. So it's just like, you know, you look at that and it's kind of like, you know, I don't think it's just a one player thing. I think it's an entire culture and team thing. But I do like the Mitchells. The Mitchells, both of them are hard. And then, you know, McCowan, Vivian's is a decent player. So, you know, but I think, you know, McCowan and Vivian's, the two Mississippi State players, I think they can kind of be moved down to, you know, the second unit. You know, keep the Mitchells in the starting unit. Kaiser, maybe that's someone you have in the second or third.
Did you really say because she is 6'7"?
Yeah, she's the tallest player in the league.
She's one of the tallest players. Yeah.
You know, so when you face the Liz Cambages and the Brittany Grinders, you know, you have someone who could, you know, stand up to them. She's pretty skilled player too. Pretty skilled big as well. But, you know, you got her in there for defense against the bigs in the league and stuff like that, against the best bigs. But yeah, I think you know, maybe you have Kaiser in that second, third unit just to see what she can do. If she doesn't show you anything in a couple of years, you can move on. But you know, I wouldn't say you build around Kaiser because she just didn't show enough.
I'm not saying build around her. I say she's a piece to the puzzle.
I don't know if you could say that. Doc Rivers, Ben Simmons, the piece, the point guard to lead you to a champion. Well, I can't say that.
Well, there's a thing with that real quick. We knew Ben Simmons coming out of college, he couldn't shoot the ball. Like, that falls on the scouting department for Philadelphia. Brett Brown, who was there, I had opportunities to fix him. But Doc Rivers inherited the team. So Doc Rivers obviously was going to find different ways to use him, but I'm when we said, he even said it in what press conference, you want me to take Ben Simmons out the game? Yeah, we do. If that's all he's going to do, they're playing 4 on 5 basketball. But also too, like, I saw this earlier, and this kind of we'll transition into this a little bit with Ben and Liz, like their personalities. Like, I think their attitude towards I need to be the person on the team. I got to be the star. I think that hurts the team. Really, Nathan? Heckle Shaq? Yeah, Shaq couldn't hit free throws. I'm not denying that. Shaq was not a good defender on the pick and roll.
The thing with Ben is like,
yeah, but trust, as a woman, I guarantee you, her 6'7" was an issue for her growing up, not an attribute for her.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, on a personal level and stuff, but I think with Ben, it's on him and it's on the coaching staff because Joel Embiid didn't come in the league as a sharpshooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these players work towards something that they weren't. They worked on their weaknesses. I feel like Ben Simmons worked on it a little bit. Like we've seen videos of him working on it, but he didn't work
Yeah, she's
enough on it.
definitely she's on fire tonight. She's trying to go for the championship tonight.
Yeah, for sure. But dang. Oh yeah. I didn't even get to give my pros on the season. By the way,
No, that's fine. We'll get
my pro was the fact that it was spontaneous. One of your cons in the postseason. You know, with 2 near 500 teams and 2 lower seeds who played the entire postseason. I think the fact that they made it to the finals and one of those teams won, I think that's the pro of the season. And it was a lot of good games and stuff. As always is, it's ball. Ball is ball. Ball is always entertaining. But that's my pro. The fact that someone not predictable won.
That's all the pros you have for this season?
Yeah. I mean, it was good games, good basketball as always. But like I said, that's a given with ball. Ball is ball. Ball is just an entertaining thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I wouldn't count that as like, oh, it was good basketball. It's always good basketball.
For sure. Yeah. So I mean, I think that right there, I think pros and cons for sure. I'm going to transition really quick. Still to stick with the NBA. So the sentence for Liz Cambage, I guess, of how she will be going forward with the Australian national basketball team. I'm going to share the clip so you guys can see it for yourselves and read. Let's see what we got in the comments. Oh, Lucinda saying, "Oh my, Rashad, now come on, you gotta have more pros, sir."
It's the money. The money is the biggest pro to me this season. The money, because it's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Okay, so this was Friday. So an investigation was conducted into an incident that occurred during a scrimmage between the Oprahs and Nigeria on the 13th of July in Las Vegas involving Elizabeth Cambage. Following the investigation, so pretty much they're saying the matter was referred to an independent hearing panel to determine whether under the national framework of ethic, behavior, and integrity in basketball, Elizabeth Cambage engaged in prohibited conduct. Wow. So that pretty much, these are some of her teammates that says otherwise. They're not really pleased with the sentences.
So what was the sentence?
So it looks like she definitely did misconduct during the scrimmage.
So there's no punishment. Like, what is the punishment? Like, I mean, we knew that already.
From what I read on an article earlier, it seems like, okay, this is what I read. The panel examined after the evidence on before determined that she did engage in conduct that brought Basketball Australia and censors in relation to one of incidents charged. Charges in relation to the other 3 alleged incidents were dismissed. Which pretty much means I think that she probably won't be on the team, from what I understood. But
so we still don't have like a clear answer.
No, we don't have a clear answer.
And then so they were saying swept under the rug, and so her teammates were like throwing her under the bus.
No, they're pretty much saying I think they were not feeling the Well, here we go. So she escapes a fire or ban on all court. She's going to play next year. Thank you, Lucinda. I appreciate that.
So her teammates, what was the whole swept under the rug thing?
Nigeria. They're
Oh,
pretty much
like Nigeria was sweeping it under the rug? Like, so
no,
Nigeria, like, what did Nigeria do? Did they like?
I think what they were trying to say was that they're getting a pass for what they did.
To Liz.
She was reprimanded, meaning, like I said, they deal with their own. So, yeah, she'll play for them because she did. If you didn't remember, she actually did withdraw from the Olympics due to mental health, which has kind of also been a thing with her because some other WNBA players have called that out. It is documented with her. Will she play next in there? We'll see. Yeah, yeah. So if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, so Nigeria and Australia, they played like in warm up. So it's like a preseason, and yeah, the fight happened there. But I'm pretty sure it was some type of trash talk and something was probably said that probably pissed Liz off, and yeah. So I mean, we know Liz is going to ride for her teammates and ride for her team. She plays with emotion. She plays with on her sleeve. But that's what happened. So will she play for? I mean, she can play for them, but will she actually play for them? We'll find out next year. So because the Olympics is not in 2024, so we got France down the road. So we'll see. We're going to transition into women's basketball. I will also talk about the men's basketball as well, but for the women's basketball, right now it's just the preseasons, and they're actually kind of, I ain't gonna lie, watching blow some of these schools out I've never heard of by like 30, 40, 50 points. It's basically like preseason. I thought the standings for this year, I thought were biased. Espen loves that University of Connecticut connection. I really do. I think they're biased when they come to certain things. I don't think Connecticut should have been number one on the list, in my opinion. I don't. I think South Carolina, I think Stanford should have been higher than where they were ranked.
Where is Stanford on ESPN's list?
On ESPN's list, they were number 5. They were actually ranked 3. I think they should have been higher than UConn.
I don't think that's like.
Did either of you gentlemen play high school sports? If so, you understand team camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I guess you could say.
That's fair. Okay, you got us there, Lucinda. I'll show you. Shout out to Stanford. Could be good. The University of Maryland should have beat Texas.
I don't think that is like.
This is
Espen's.
Yeah. Espen's list.
Oh, so they got stuff. No. Oh, AP. I'm looking at the left. My bad. ESPN's on the right.
So this is AP, and this is the coaches poll.
Oh, so where's ESPN?
This is what they had on the website for ESPN.
Well, both polls got have South Carolina number 1.
But ESPN, they had. Hold on, I saw it. They had Espen.
Right. But yeah, I mean, with Stanford, no, I think 3 is like, it's not disrespectful. I feel like 5 would be disrespectful for Stanford, but 3 is not bad at all, especially when you have 2 powerhouses and 2 super teams like South Carolina and UConn, because you have to understand, like, Stanford did lose one play, Kiana Williams, and some people might be like, she didn't do anything in the tournament. But okay, they lost Kiana Williams. What big star did they get? What big transfer did they get? I don't know anybody. Did you know anybody? I don't know anybody.
No.
UConn got Dorka from Ohio State. and they also brought in AZ Foot. They also brought in three 5-stars, and only 2 are going to play more than likely. So I mean, it's like, you can't get mad at that. South Carolina, they get Cardoso from Syracuse, and they get 4 5-stars. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's not much of an argument for me of having those top 2 teams as the top 2 teams everywhere, and having them ahead of Stanford. All due respect to the defending champs, as I always want to give them and stuff. So yeah, for sure. But on the men's side as well, men's college basketball has kind of been dead for the past few years. So especially with all the alternate routes, shout out to LeVar Ball for sure. But I think what was I going to say? But I think this year, having Chet and Imani in college at the same time is really going to just do wonders for that game and for that sport and, that league and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens on the men's side. But definitely, I think I got a question for you, Nate. I don't know if I asked you this last time I was on here. Do you think that Paige Beckers is the biggest college star in college athletics right now?
I think she's one of many. I don't think they give their flowers to others, in my personal opinion.
I think she has more followers on Instagram than any other college athlete right now.
Okay, she may have the most followers, but Aaliyah Boston is one.
Aaliyah Boston is not nowhere. I'm talking about I'm talking about college football, men's college basketball, college baseball. I don't know if there's anybody as big as Paige right now.
But think about but who did she play for? She plays.
No,
for
I mean, but like it's never been like that in my life. Like Maya Moore was not bigger than who was men's college basketball has been.
Well, also
it's been some good games because March Madness is always March Madness, but I ain't tuned in to no men's college. Like I'm looking at the women's game like edge on the edge of my seat popcorn. Like I can watch the women's game more engaging than some NFL games nowadays. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Nate. I apologize.
But also too, think about it. But look how the media had they made Paige versus Maya Moore. Maya Moore was the winningest player coming out of college. Like she's never got the same publicity as Paige will get.
Oh, she's pretty big. She's pretty big, but I'm saying but there's not even like a white player from UConn. Like Diana Taurasi was nowhere near as big as Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. You know what I'm saying? In 04, 05, like Vince Young. Who else? So it's like Bryce Young. There's no star. Like Spencer Rattler was pretty big. He got benched. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like there's no big stars in college athletics right now.
So you don't think, for example,
Imani Bates and Chet Holmgren are big, but Paige is more popular than both of them. Go ahead.
Of course you can, because it's women doing their favorite thing, being beautiful and playing basketball. But here's the thing, though. So you mean to tell me Asia Wilson, Skylar Diggins, I'll even say Chelsea Dungy, Charlie Collier, they've had, if not better seasons, great college careers than Paige Beckers. It's not a slight on Paige.
I'm talking about who's the biggest. I'm talking about who's the biggest, Nate. Not who's the best. Who's the biggest?
She's the biggest because of the publicity that she gets.
I've never seen a women's basketball player be the biggest star in all of college athletics. Never in my life have I seen that. This is the first time.
But that falls on the media. The media, especially with women's sports, they pick and choose who they're going to publicize more. I mean, again, I already said I just gave you a few names like Maya Moore, Asia Wilson.
Right, but there's no college game day for women's basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a college game day for football. Like there's a college football daily show on ESPN. Like there's a college football. Like for all of that to exist and there not be one person in college football more prominent and relevant than Paige Beckers is kind of insane. And I think we should applaud it. It's not like Paige sucks. If Paige was trash, I would be like, man, Paige doesn't deserve to be the most popular person, but she's good. She's the best player in the country.
The me ask you a question. So how come Ryan Howard doesn't get the same Alyssa Smith? How come they don't get the same media publicity like Paige does?
Just Paige is white.
Okay.
Also, Paige had the online following, so she was like Zion, right? Like Zion had the Ball is Life. He had the Overtime. He had the Slam magazine following him up. Like Paige was the first women's player to really have that in high school coming up. So I mean, I think she had that type of following and stuff like that. But yeah, for sure. I think
Also, too, I just wanted to point this out.
Go ahead.
I think it's a little disrespectful that we're not talking about the University of Maryland. I will not tolerate that. We need to give Maryland their flowers. Diamond Miller, Ashley Owusu, thank you. We will not disrespect the University of Maryland. Okay, we will not disrespect the Maryland Terps.
Not the shirt.
We're not doing that.
Shirt. He got the Juan Soto. What's his name? What was that man name with the fade? He had the fade.
Juan Dixon.
Hard. Juan Dixon. He was hard.
Haley Jones.
Shout out to Haley Jones. Haley Jones was on my channel. Real dope.
Yeah, she was. It was really good too. I liked it. And
this my dog.
And also too, you know, they're going to be WNBA. They're going to be WNBA. You know, draftees soon. But I'm just saying that I think media, and also to think about it, ESPN, University of Connecticut. Like ESPN talks more about UConn than he talked about Stanford. Like I never saw them talk more about the game with Baylor and UConn more than before. Like, don't get me wrong, Paige is a great basketball player.
The best.
But I'm not going to take away from Aaliyah, Ryan. I'm not going to take away from them. They need their shine. They need some love too.
For sure.
So I think this is going to be a great season.
I also think like the women's basketball community should kind of be celebrating that the most prominent college athlete is coming from women's basketball. And that's never happened before. It didn't happen with Candace Parker. It didn't happen with Skylar Diggins-Smith. It didn't happen with Brittany Griner. It didn't happen with Asia Wilson. It's never happened before. You know, I think the women's basketball community should celebrate this moment. You know, I mean, obviously it's not perfect, and like there's conditions and politics in it, but there's politics in everything.
Good point. For some odd reason, something tells me South Carolina is going to be in the finals because they have a team A and a team B. They Don Stanley.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
I can't stand Don Stanley. She just it's like they're like the UConn of down south now. Like she's getting they're getting everybody. But that's okay because University of Maryland is going to handle that.
Guarantee.
We'll see. We'll see them. Who else on this list? Louisville, Baylor, NC State, West Virginia. That's kind of interesting. Well, Kaiser isn't there, so
they were like a one-man band last year. Kaiser did everything for them.
Yeah, that's true. In my opinion, Alyssa Smith's better than Paige. That's my opinion.
That's a fair opinion to have right now. Melissa's a senior and Paige is a sophomore.
Do you want to see what the men's rankings are?
I literally know like nothing about the men's game.
Yeah, I'll show you what the men's looks like. This is absolutely disgusting. They had Gonzaga,
Chet,
UCLA. This list is pretty much accurate. They're pretty much consistent. At least Maryland made the top 20, top 25, and then Virginia too.
Did you see Miles College gave Kentucky a run for its money. Like they had a lead going into the second half of that scrimmage.
Yeah, I saw that. Don't remind me.
Shout out to the HBCUs, man. Shout out Miles College.
I think it's going to be a great season. I think, man, the way last year, particularly March Madness was, I think it's going to be great. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I think we're going to see some storylines. We really are. I think my Final Four, it's just my Final Four: South Carolina, Stanford, Maryland. I'm gonna say NC State. Am I wrong?
Guaranteed.
I'm just laughing at how much you hate UConn. Like
Because
you said the three most obvious names, and then you paused for a second. I'm like, why did you just say UConn?
no, it's just
Oh
to me
my God.
that's kind of like if you look at a majority of the players in the league right now, UConn, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's getting too much. It's not. I don't have any hate of UConn. I think they're a great school, but I do think it kind of, it's like they've shown that they can be dethroned. They've shown it. But I think it's going to be a great year. I do. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that the independent finding of the funding between the men's and women's, I hope that the women's side gets more money than what it got. All great players.
Yo, shout out to Kirsten Bell and Cameron Brink.
Please tell me they didn't go to UConn.
Nah, Kirsten Bell, she started off at Ohio State. She's at Florida Gulf Coast.
Florida Coast.
Cameron Brink's at Stanford.
That's a good transfer. It's a good pickup. Where I think the women were getting like $1 million, under $1 million in funding, where they had to, the coaches had to go to fast food restaurants and eat, where the men are eating like kings. That's something wrong with that. But that's the NCAA too. I blame them. At the end of the day, you guys both have said it in the comments. It's all about the dollars to them. And obviously they're going to promote men's sports before women's sports. But I think this is going to be a great year. You're going to do some upsets. Trust me, you are. But I think it's going to be consistent. I think you're going to see the same, those first 6 teams. That's what it's going to be like. So really quick, I'm going to preview episode 11, and I got a couple other things I want to talk about. Episode 11, comedian El Hendricks will be a guest on the podcast tomorrow evening, 10 o'clock. So be tuned in for that. The Washington Wizards, we play those Milwaukee Bucks. We surprisingly beat the Memphis Grizzlies, which I thought was going to be the Grizzlies beating us, but that's egg on my face. The Milwaukee Bucks are 4-5. They lost the last four. They lost the last 4 of the last 5, all at home. Injuries, and so far that I think have shown for the Bucks, in my opinion. Do I think it's a championship hangover? Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. When you win a championship, there is such a thing as a championship hangover, which happens. It happens in all sports. They had a 21-point lead against the New York Knicks, and they lost.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
The final score was 113-98. When you outscore the Knicks 38-19 in the first quarter, and the next 3 periods you're nowhere to be found, they need to get the Bucks need to get it together. The Wizards, even though we took back-to-back L's, we beat the Memphis Grizzlies 115-87. I was expecting more from Memphis, but I will say in the second and third quarter we've been pretty well. I'm glad these podcasts are being longer. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. What's on Sale has gotten these boys to play ball for sure. I do. Harrell, Neto, Bradley Beal, Gefford, Dinwiddie, Caldwell Pope. It's a well balanced. They're really playing well. The only thing is I don't like the 3-point shooting. It has been very disappointing. So I think that the Washington Wizards are going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks.
Guaranteed.
The last topic of the show, I wanted to talk about this. I've been saying this for a while. Howard University. Howard University, as of right now, yeah, D Rose did play. He played phenomenal in that game. Are having some housing issues. They have been at. Where do I even begin? Where you're having students on different platforms talking about the living conditions of mold, poor plumbing issues. They have started a sit-in since the 13th of last month in the Blackburn building, sleeping in tents. They have made it vehemently clear that they are not leaving that building until administration takes accountability and meets their demands. That means fixing the housing conditions. I know Elizabeth Warren, talked about it. I know Jesse Jackson was there, but he had an incident after he fell, but he's got released from the hospital. I know Gucci Man was supposed to perform at the homecoming, but they pulled out. There's no way in heck, and I actually, and this is a fun fact. I actually at one point had considered when I had graduated from the community college that I had went to. Yes, RJ Barrett and James Randall did well in that game as well. I actually had considered that as a transfer school, and I'm actually glad I decided not to go.
Yeah, my little sister goes there.
So I'm pretty sure your sister can attest to these issues.
She don't live on campus right now, but
Right.
I was just texting her like yesterday. I was like, "You guys are like the biggest story in America right now." It's kind of crazy.
The president of the college, Dr. Frederick, pretty much has thrown it under the water by saying, 41 of the 2,700 rooms had mold, and we're saying that was accidental human error.
Bullshit.
I have 3 family members that graduated from there. Felicia Rashad, her sister, the great Debbie Allen, was there, and there was a question that was asked to Debbie, and Felicia didn't like it. And I no disrespect to Miss Rashad, but I think she's kind of being a part of the problem. You should be showing support for those students, but we're talking where you have students that have to be hospitalized, and even to the point where you had, you had a news. I can't remember which news outlet it was that was in DC. Come out there, and they all want to all of a sudden clean up to look good for the camera.
Bullshit.
There's a lot that Howard University is not going to tell those students, and there's a lot going on behind closed doors. Howard University's also had to deal with a financial aid scandal where I think it was a college student who stole money from them and used it to buy luxury shoes, clothes, cars, and even went on trips.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
I think there is a difference, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where I have been consistent on this point. And Lucinda, Sean, and Rashad, you can all attest to this. The media controls the narrative, controls and spins the narrative. Because I want you guys to understand, this is not no protest. This is a peaceful demonstration and freedom of expression. All they're asking for is better living conditions. I'm not going to pay $50,000 to go to a school and to live in these kind of conditions. If I know my parents would have been livid because I'm here to get an education. I shouldn't have to be living in a room that's moldy. I gotta throw my clothes away. I gotta throw my food away. You know, where you got holes in the ceiling. That's ridiculous. All this money that this school is making they get money from the federal government. And you know what's funny? Somebody told me, you got to understand, it costs money just to keep the lights on.
Bullshit.
So, yep. That's what I'm talking about. Answer questions and explain why the voices are so important. Felicia didn't want to. She understands it, but I think she kind of was like mums the word on that. Nathan, don't be that person. They both spoke up, but it was more of Debbie than Felicia. They both spoke up, but there was a question that was asked, and Felicia was like, "Okay, we need to come in," or something like that.
I think Debbie asked Felicia a question, and that's when Felicia was like, "Okay, it's time to go in."
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Like Felicia was like, "Have the demands been met?"
Yes,
and
exactly.
It was something like that, and then she drug her inside.
That's what I meant, Lucinda. Thank you, Rashad, for cleaning that up. Because of the sit-in, they've also had to fire their employees. Actually, I kid you not, where I went to school for food, it's the same company that Howard University had. So I mean, Nathan, you cannot speak on her thought process. I'm just saying, Lucinda, the body language that she had when she said, "Okay," and that's when you need to come in. I get what you're saying, but that I'll leave it alone. I know she does care for the students, but I'm just saying, like, don't be afraid to speak up. I'm sure she's that because they have taught PR 101. Do not speak to the media until you have been coached. Fair, good point. So, it's a mess. It really is. This is a HBCU. Yes, I understand that it's gentrified around the school. But this says more about, again, accountability and, like, just stuff Howard University ain't going to say. And it's all going to come out. We found ways with the financial aid thing scandal. It's a mess. What do you think?
No, I mean, like, what can you say? It's just like a kind of a human thing, right? Like a human, just what's right and what's wrong. I think on the surface level, obviously, I haven't done enough research to really speak too much into depth on it. But, like I said, my little sister goes there. She lives off campus, and she gave me just a little background on it. She's just like, yeah, what you're hearing is like what's going on. It's pretty crazy over here. So I don't know, man. It's like, you're failing the students, I think, in a lot of cases. If they're kind of fed up with the situation and living conditions and they're speaking up about it, it's just kind of like, to the public, like that's kind of your reaction. And that's how it's felt from the outside looking in, from very, very, from a distance, of just like the students are pushing back. They're not happy. And the school is just kind of like dodging it, they're kind of dodging it. So I don't know. We'll see. But no, I like the fact that it is being covered, and I like the fact that it has become the biggest story in the country.
Yeah, I just really hope that they hear these students. You know, as a college student myself, you know, I'm here to get an education. I shouldn't have to be I shouldn't have to go to a school that I applied for, and this is the situation that I'm in. That's ridiculous. Now, I want to give a shout out to Lucinda. She sent me the clip. I do appreciate it. Much love to you, Lucinda. This is where I want to play this one clip. And again, I understand Felicia on them speaking out, but there was I don't know. She kind of gave me the mom's the word on that vibe, but
when the students do speak out, and they have been heard, and their concerns have been addressed, and it's still not enough, what about that?
Oh, well, that's a whole nother thing.
That's what's going on right now.
So are the concerns being addressed?
Okay, let's come inside.
Last question. What will you be telling the president today?
Say what?
What will you be telling the president today?
I'm here to listen.
Thank you.
see, it was something that was said that I guess I feel like it was because you heard when Debbie asked, somebody in the background said no, and I guess that was like, okay, that's enough of the question. So I get what you're saying, Lucinda. Felicia Rashad has definitely spoken up, but it's a mess. If for some odd reason, I guarantee you, like I said, Howard University is going to find more excuses.
It's embarrassing, and it's something that's happened. I feel like in HBCUs for a very long time now, you know, and I think so. Just from that front, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that the students are pushing, and the fact that it has become like I said, such a large story, and it has received so much coverage because that brings it to the light, you know.
It does.
And if you keep that pressure on them, then that's where change comes in, and hopefully this change can you know, not only help Howard but all HBCUs and all colleges.
Yes, right. I second those thoughts. Because listen, HBCUs, you know, they are important. It's just like Duke. It's just like Yale. It's still a college. But what bothers me is that you have at the top not handling the business. And to me, these are issues that should be fixed. So I mean, I have been really following. I have been following the story. I have. It's just I give those credit for what they're doing. Remember a few years ago, Grambling State, after the great Eddie Robinson passed away, you know, they're where they work out, you know, and they finally got a whole new weight room because why? Players spoke up and were on administration. That's what we just have to continue to do. They have to be on administration. You know, again, and also too, you know, you hit them where it hurts the most, you know. But you know, all the money that Howard University gets a year, and you mean to tell me you can't fix these issues? Come on, man. Come on, man. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude episode 10 of the podcast. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Sean, Tennessee Michelle, who was in here earlier, Hendricks, Sean, even Jammer was in here as well earlier. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for all joining. Not only the college going through it, measles outbreak at San Diego State University. Damn.
Measles, what is it? 19-2?
Well, I as a college student, I do know that each semester. Well, before you even jump. Well, here's a website. Top 10 worst college dorms. You are supposed to like show proof of your shots because if not, they put a health hold on your account. I think the college, the school you went to require. I think all college require that because you can't. Okay, like I think by your second semester, you're supposed to have all your shots up to date for the college to have on file. Because if you don't, you can't register for the next semester until you get it situated. So I'm not going to make that assumption, but measles and getting on sick on campus is no joke. It really is not. But I mean, come on, man. Mold, poor plumbing. Here's the list set by Lucinda, the top 10 worst dorms, and we're going to end the episode after that. University of Illinois at Urbana. Wow. George Mason. Georgetown. Wow.
All in like DC.
University of Mississippi. Well, they tore down. I think they tore. Didn't they tear Miller Hall down? Yeah, they did. Wow. New York University.
NYU costs way too much money to be on that list.
Exactly. Why would an outbreak of that magnitude and such an outdated disease be prominent? Inquiring minds want to know. Exactly. So I really hope those going back to hiring professional maintenance crews to do the upkeep in those dorms. And again, they're making the money, and they can spend. And it ain't got to be a 5-star, but someone that's going to go in there and get the job done. Come on now. And on top of that, you got to think about a semester. We're paying what? Rashad, we pay what, $3,000-$4,000 a semester? Books, tuition, food, and that's not including dorms. That ain't including we got to get food. Hey, we want to go out, go to a football game. Come on, man. But that financial. But I'm telling you, I remember that financial aid scandal. I mean, this guy had on Gucci. He had on top line
photo shoot, the infamous photo shoot.
I'm like, wow. And the thing was, freaking Mary Maids will do the job. Man, oh my gosh. Like I said, I actually had considered transferring into Howard University, and something told me don't do it. And it's not because of the school administration. So, Rashad, thank you for joining me. Let's do this again in the future. Congratulations on your new position. Would you like to tell us? Would you like to share what you do now?
Yeah. So I'm now with Rolling Out magazine here in Atlanta. So I'm back in the A, and I'm now with them. So I appreciate the love, Nate. Always appreciate the support. Always in my comment sections
It's been fun
on my videos and stuff like that. So I appreciate that.
It's been fun, gentlemen. Thank you, Lucinda. Thank you for joining.
Oh man, special shout out.
Yep.
Well, thank you. What would this episode have been without Lucinda?
Yeah. And also, so how does it feel like you're not covering Dion, because you did a really good job with that, covering Jackson State.
Thank you. I mean, hey, happens in life,
Right. But I mean, you're doing a really good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All jokes aside and all laughing aside. Yeah.
Right. But no, the one piece you just did recently. By the way, since you're from Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
Last time y'all did that was 1995. Listen, I've always loved the Atlanta Braves. I love Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, all of them, John Smoltz, all of them. well deserved. They actually had written them off to not even make the playoffs, and to see where they're at, I think all teams need to go. I know Rashard. I make it fun everywhere I go. Yes, she does.
but yeah, it was the yeah, like Freddie Freeman called it. He said, Alex, the GM, he really had the greatest trade deadline of all time. You think about it, to kind of they're working with nothing virtually, and to make the moves that he made just to try to give themselves a chance and not throw the season down the drain just because you lost the top 5 player in the league.
Yes.
And
who should have just let the ball go off the wall.
Right. And then a pivotal player as well, from last year with the Zonia. So, to lose both of those guys early on and kind of midway through the season and just scrounge around just to look to something to keep the season alive instead of throwing it away.
Yeah,
and win a championship off of it is just insane. I was actually born in '95, so
I'll join your YouTube page and living it up.
Oh, I need that. Hey, I need that. But yeah.
Just a real quick to put into context, ladies and gentlemen, Ronald Acuna Jr. suffered a season-ending injury, tried to be Superman, and then Marcelo Zuna was cut by the Braves because of domestic violence. And I think he actually
I think he's been placed on like one of them lists that you were talking about earlier.
The commissioner's exempt list.
Yeah. The list you were talking about with Ruggs, but he's on that list. So I mean, the Braves, they just suffered so much this year, and
they did.
Also to like I said the last time I was up here when I talked about Dansby, like, to see one of your high school classmates, man, get it done for the city.
Oh, it's in the description, Lucinda.
26 years is it's just incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the one to end that quote unquote curse over here, and I'm proud of Dansby, proud of the Braves organization.
School together.
Yeah, went to school together. So, but the thing is, I stand by what I wrote of like, here's a black city, over 50% black, black culture, capital of hip hop. You have one black player on the team. I don't think, when your greatest franchise player and the greatest player arguably in the history of baseball is down there smiling at that fact, so I stand by what I wrote on that. And I also don't think that, and I also don't think that Braves culture and Braves, like, the atmosphere is the most welcoming to his fans either, to his black fans either. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
For sure.
Regardless, I'm proud of the city, and I'm proud of the organization and my boy Dansby, high school classmate.
Yep, for sure. It was a great season. It'd be kind of interesting to see who stays, who goes. Really quick, I do think Freddie Freeman will stay in Atlanta.
Guaranteed.
He's not going anywhere. He got his ring. Also, too, you were high school. You went to high school with De'Erica Hamby.
Yeah.
Her
Almost forgot.
Her birthday was yesterday. Well, as yesterday.
Yeah. Happy belated to De'Erica.
So, and you went to high school with a lot of celebrities. I'm jealous.
It's crazy. It was one class too, like class of 2012. I was 13. Class of 2012, they
you were class of 2013, so was I. Okay.
Yeah. I was 13. Yeah.
Same.
But 12 was crazy. Like, it's 4 people who just done amazing things. Like, we have one player in the NFL, Dansby is 2012, a professional dunker who's traveled the world and dunked on, remember the TNT show, like Dunk King or something like that?
I remember that. Yeah.
He was on that show, 2012. And then who else was 2012? NFL. Oh yeah, Lauren Simmons. She was a stock market exchange trader. She was like the youngest woman to ever be on the stock market. It was like national news, and then Disney's making a movie about it right now. So that was all in the class of 2012. It's kind of crazy. 2013, we had a starting quarterback in the SEC, Anthony Jennings. He was there.
After El Nino signed a market-altering $340 million contract.
Carlos Correa. There's a chance. Maybe, perhaps.
Carlos Correa will not be with the Houston Astros. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Watch. I guarantee you. Watch the Yankees will probably find a way to throw money at them. Some just tells me the Yankees are going to throw money at them. But also too, let's not forget Trevor Story is also a free agent. So whatever Carlos Correa gets, Trevor Story is going to want it. But yeah, congratulations, Rashard. I know the city of Atlanta is happy. Even though I think
Came back at the right time, didn't I?
Yes, the Falcons definitely need to get. They should have a ring. The Hawks last year are building off success. I'm sorry, the Atlanta Dream are what they are. What else am I missing? Oh, the soccer.
United,
Atlanta United.
United is playing pretty well, and they have like the most loyal fan base here out of all the fan bases. So everybody else in Atlanta, they're fair weather. Like, I wouldn't say fair weather. They just don't buy tickets to show up, physically show up. But watching the games, they'll watch on TV. But showing up in person,
and he should, and well deserved. Freddie Freeman, hands down,
postseason MVP. Yeah. He went crazy all postseason playoffs.
He did. Well deserved because he waited for this moment. So what else do you have going forward?
Hopefully I can get back.
Live in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. All right. For sure. Then you got family everywhere. But I guess it's like that with us. But what was about? Oh yeah. Hopefully YouTube again. With like adjusting to the new position, the schedule is all over the place. Like I kind of work like nonstop. So
yeah, I even saw you even did a when you were talking, you made the video, and you were like, I don't have my green screen.
The green screen is downstairs, man. Like I'm trying to in my apartment, it was just right there, like right by the bed. So like I could just get up and just walk over there, but it's different. So I'm trying to figure out the new rhythm and stuff. Hopefully I could get it going by college basketball season. That's kind of like the bread and butter now.
For sure.
And I also want to get back into watching, NBA on the channel, because I watch NBA, of course, off screen and off camera,
right.
For my subscribers, because they deserve it. She dog. Grandma's was getting I'm joking. I ain't gonna say nothing disrespectful, but yeah, but that's all I have coming up. Hopefully more YouTube. Yeah, that's
for sure. Yeah, congratulations on the new position. Keep up the good work.
You do the same, my man. I'm watching you from.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm happy. When I got to Rashard, before you speak on men's college ball, watch it first.
Man, ain't nobody trying to watch no men's college basketball. We watching women's this year, man. It's bad basketball. Men's college basketball is the worst thing. She's in Fayetteville. Okay, all right, Fayetteville. 97. She almost there. 99 and a half. Won't do. You know that song, Nate? But I'm running. Trying to make 100. Come on now. So it's like, but what were we talking about? What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the
men's college basketball being trash. It's trash.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's trash. It's
women's basketball is where it's at, man. Woman is the future, man. The future is female.
Blah blah. Also, too, I forgot because Lexi Brown's also from Georgia, and
from Gwinnett,
and the Chicago, and obviously she's from Chicago. She played with the Chicago Sky, so she has a championship.
Congratulations! Oh my God!
Rashard, don't be that person, bro.
Future is female, man. The men's game is trash. I like the NBA though, but I love the NBA, but what I was about to say, Diamond too. Her AAU teammate from Atlanta, from Norcross. Also, that's also on the north side. So Shout out to everybody on the north side. Shout out Gwinnett. That's where De'Erica transferred to when she left Marietta.
Wow. Okay. Got you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude the episode. I have left Rashad Milligan's website, Twitter, and YouTube page in the description below. Check him out. Really good content creator when it comes
Subscribe to my OnlyFans. Y'all make sure y'all do that too. Don't forget that.
Also, too, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, consider hitting that subscribe button. Please share the podcast. Episode 11 will come out tomorrow. I have an art at George Creek, one in Stone Mountain, and
STONEEMOUNT. However you say it, but yeah.
She said, I'll pass on that. But y'all have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow with comedian Al Hendricks, episode 11 of the podcast. Y'all have a good night. Take it easy.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.